welcome you to World War III. Starring Vladimir Putin. Welcome you to World War. And America. And Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, gas is gonna be $10. We are here. I'm down with this music, man, let me tell you. Are you down with this music or what? I got it off of Newground. Shout out to Ernesto who made it. It's great stuff. Great stuff, Ernesto. Did a good job, man. Let me tell you something. Slob75. What a day today, man. What a day today, brother. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I did not expect it, but tonight, ladies and gentlemen, beat the clock. On a Thursday night surprise. I don't know how long we'll beat the clock for tonight, but it's a very kind of a serious day, man. I watched a lot of videos. It was sad, to be honest. Basically, in my opinion, like what I'm watching is this stuff could happen. When I see people in the Ukraine who are just basically shocked that this has happened to them. And I do see some snarky people saying, like, what did they think? Or, they've been warning about this forever or whatever. It's like, yeah, but it's still crazy. I mean, you don't think something like this is going to happen. Especially if you're younger, too. If you're, like, under 30 years old, you're thinking, well, this, we're living in the modern world. Something like this won't happen as much as they talk. But I don't know. Yeah, that's actually I can uncover the panels now. Yay! I had to cover it up because I didn't want the people when I was doing my trainings and stuff. I didn't want the people to be like, what does SITH 69 mean? I didn't want, do I really got to answer questions about, what SITH NEGAN 69 is? So, obviously, it's still there. It's all good. What's up, everybody? All right, this music has to go now. We have to, let's cut this out. It's not quite, that's not hype enough. It's got to be more hype. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. A little late night fun there. All right. So what's up, everybody? We're going to be joined by probably a litany of people tonight, potentially. And we're getting ready, man. We're going to put that clock up. SITH 69, baby. Everybody give it up for SITH. One of the people that has held this channel together. Without him, I don't know where I'd be. And shout out to Shell. Hope she's doing all right, man. She's got a lot of stuff going on, man. We really tried hard the other night to get Jake DeMarco to get to AEW, but unfortunately it just wasn't in the cards. Tony Khan did read the DM, or rather did read the messages, but I guess he just, there's a lot. I'm sure every single time, dude, every single time AEW goes out and does something, people hit him up for tickets, like hundreds of people, probably. So I'm not one of those people that holds like an ill will to that stuff. Like, oh man, you didn't respond to my friend Jake and his daughter and everything. I don't get upset, really like that. I know that the guy, gets hit up by tons of people with like that are on their deathbed, people that are missing limbs, and friends who got just, I don't know, like have dystopian nightmares about being molested by trains, whatever the case is. I understand that they're hit up by a lot of people, and so that for that reason, I try not to I don't get like, oh, you mad at a company. Oh, you should have seen this coming, or you should have helped out, or some bullshit, whatever. President Biden today, no one expected the sanctions. Kamala Harris, we thought they would work. Like, I don't know, like the two can't get on the same page. It is pretty funny to see the two of those two buffoons. I really think leadership in this country is buffoons. Are buffoons. They use buffoons. But you know what? I can say that because I have a GED. You know, so let's be fair about this. So I potentially have another early day tomorrow. It looks like, unless something changes and I get an email that tells me otherwise. So I will try to cap tonight. But we're gonna talk about it, man. Russia has invaded Ukraine. We watched it all day long. I'm going to give a lot of thoughts on a lot of these things. There are so many things to talk about. And a lot of videos to show and a lot of things like that. And so we're going to do that tonight. But we're also going to throw up some time on the board. And I may not be able to do a complete show. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. But what I will say is we'll figure something out when I find out what my times are, because I may not have to work tomorrow at all, in which case tonight the party's on, man. We're going to find out, though. But for right now, we'll make it stiff. We'll make it kind of stiff, right? And you can clip that because that was sexy. But we'll say that, every $10 equals 3 minutes for now. I may lower that or increase that depending on what goes on, only because I may have to still be up very early tomorrow. I don't know yet. Or we'll put a cap on it. I don't really know yet exactly. So, we'll try to keep it light. And all I can say is that I still don't know 100%. So if I have to be up at 6 a.m. all of a sudden, I may call an audible. I'll be honest, and I may have to add this time to a tomorrow show. And do that. So if I do that, I hope you're not angry at me, and I hope if you are dropping a couple bucks, you may know that there could be an audible pulled, and I hope you understand that. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to even start the clock yet. I'm going to give it a minute because I got some things. Well, you know what? Let's see what happens. Oh,
motherfucker, here we go. Everyone knows I'm out the window. Yep, yo, motherfucker, no romance, cause there ain't no chance in my happy pants. Could you perchance come and take this dance and leave me here? I'm a bad motherfucker, ain't got no fear. What the time was the time, motherfucker? Time, motherfucker. Put it in a happy rhyme, motherfucker.
Yeah. Come on, it's clock, come on. Bang, bang, tick tock, in a fucking suck. Oil shock.
2 on consignment, 1 in stock. What's the time, motherfucker? Said clock. I said clock.
Biden, first week in office shuts down Keystone XL pipeline, greenlights Nord Stream 2 pipeline. 2 embassies gone, 2 countries lost. Russia will not stop at Ukraine. We need a real commander-in-chief.
We need a real commander-in-chief. And when he says chafe, he goes, I'm sorry, Bill, I had to get a real job. Because you didn't have enough money, Bill, to support my channel. Because you didn't make $200,000 a year, you couldn't, you couldn't drop the $100 a month for me, man. It's all your fault, Bill. You're screwed. What up, Furry? How you doing, my friend? Joe has GD, also has a big cock. What's up, everybody? Am I pro-Trump? I don't mean, that's a loaded question. I wouldn't say I'm not really pro anybody. What's up, chat? Unless you're talking to somebody in the chat about what they're pro on something. I put a poll up, though. My obviously all of our thoughts are with Ukraine tonight, the people there, and saw a heartbreaking video from a girl in the subway, which, I don't believe a lot of stuff I see on CNN, but I think I believe this, so that's one good thing. But the world decided to attack Russia. Would Iran and China join in for Russia, or would they watch, or what would they do? 49% of you, that's almost half of you, believe that they would join Russia immediately almost. You know, China and Iran would jump in with Russia, like we got you. Or 24% of you believe they would just watch. This is the funniest part. 6% say they would join the world. I like how nobody believes that, really. 7%. That's going up a little bit. And then 21% say, I don't know. I like that. I got to be honest. I think I'm a better president than Biden if I was president. I never thought I'd say that, because I always said I'm a moron. I would never trust me with politics or anything like that or whatever. You know, I used to say that about WWE too, that I never wanted to be a booker. You know, maybe I've changed. Maybe I feel, you know, because I mean, I can't do school, but I mean, I can make some decisions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't have no idea. But yeah, man, tonight this has been a weird situation. And like I said, as soon as I figure out, I would hold off on the beat the clock stuff for now, guys, and just assume like I'm just live for a few until I figure out exactly what is going on with my timing tomorrow. I don't know. The world has gone crazy. Ernie Beware, what's up? It's a good opportunity for China to invade Taiwan right now. Yeah, I mean, because no one did anything about Ukraine, so do you think no one's going to do anything about Taiwan? Right? Joe would be assassinated. Jesus. I said, I don't know, because I'm not paying attention to this. Really? You're not paying attention to this? Man. I would be a great dictator. I'd be like the dictator everybody loved before the bad guy after me took over. Well, Cesaro took his pepperoni nipples and left WWE. So there's that's been news all day long. Alex Oli, thank you for the $10, Alex. I really appreciate you. Oh my God, bless this world. F World War III. So damn BS. What up, J-Rod? How you doing, man? But China said Taiwan isn't a country, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's a good point. How are you doing, normal guy? How's everybody doing today? So, I mean, I just saw some rough stuff today as far as, Ukraine goes and the people there go. Like, it was rough stuff to watch. There was a lot of dumb today. A lot of dumb stuff. But this was really heartbreaking, man. This was this girl's take on this in the subway. I mean, when you see people in Ukraine, it's like if it happened anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like if it happened anywhere. It isn't some, place that, I mean, people did not, some people just did not expect this.
Under the rocket attacks, and the safest place is to hide here. So it's like you wake up in a totally new reality at 5 a.m. and you find out that the world is no longer the safe place you imagine. And it's hard to believe that it's actually our neighbor doing this, because we never really believed that our neighbor can just come and just grab our land and tell us what to do. And we are independent country, Ukraine, and we are totally not same as Russians. And we don't want to be a part of Russia or any other country. It's really getting very emotional. And I cannot believe it's happening, really. And I just hope that some people in Russia may see this and just stand against the Putin and the war.
What would you want people in Russia to know?
It's funny that girl's crying. It's not funny, but it's funny that this guy in the background is like laughing. He's like, hey, this is crazy, and this girl's crying about it. And this guy's like, hey, looks like looks like the guy from Depeche Mode. I'm on the phone again today. I'm talking to my brother Wayne. I think we're getting bombed by Russia. Look, the guy on the phone. Nah.
What would you want?
That guy's like, whatever. Whatever. We're in a subway. This girl's crying, and this kid's like, yeah, I'm in the subway.
It's the Putin and the war.
What would you want people in Russia to know or hear from you?
I would like to know. I know that
I think he's young enough to be having a good time, you know?
Russian media is blocking all information, and I would like them to know that they're not attacking just their military bases. They're actually attacking in our neighborhood, and they're making us feel insecure and very unsafe. That's it.
Is your family safe? Are you with your family?
I'm with my family, and part of my family stays in Canada, and they're really crying for us. And that's hard to believe.
Get the hell over to Canada if you can. Get to your other family. That's awful. But it's scary. It's awful. It's like makes you angry. You really have to refuse the urge to just flip out and want to just, because that's what gets us into fights and wars, right? Because there's a part of me, I'll go back and forth on it, of like, oh man, we shouldn't, don't do anything. But there's a part of me that's like, hey, yo, how about we just go blow the fuck up? Like, how about, you know what? You're going to attack people, like, just because you want to take over a spot or whatever. But then, they feel that Russia feels that we're using Ukraine, right? Like that we're using them and that they might join NATO, and, that they're like weird about that, right? I don't even know about the whole history of everything. But seeing the kid blown up on the bicycle today really bothered me. Like, that really pissed me off. But then I started thinking about, how many dead kids are there due to all the people. And now I don't know the numbers 100% at all. I don't know them. I just went with the rough numbers. And now I could be wrong. Somebody tells me, here's why you're wrong. Please let me know. I don't know the numbers. I just 100% honest. I looked up some stories based on attacks and murders and things like that. And now people could be making things up and could be wrong. I had an idea of who has the highest death toll, but I don't know the actual numbers. But these numbers are pretty close, I believe. Now, the only number that I couldn't quite agree with 100% is I couldn't really figure out. I think Obama might have more kills, and I think Trump might have possibly a few more, and I think Putin has less. That's my guess. But these are the rough numbers after counting up news stories and articles that I found. And I don't know what the real numbers are. But these are dead kids due to military operations, from what I could find. And I spent an hour doing this because I'm a psycho. I believe, from what I found, that Putin has over around 1,000 or so dead children on his hands. I believe. Obama has over hundreds of dead children on his hands. Trump has 30 to 80, from what I could figure out. Bush has hundreds. We're talking about Afghanistan and Iraq war, probably approaching, 500 or 300 so, but I couldn't verify all that stuff. I just know I could pretty much guess on the confirmation of about 100 or more. So I don't know the real numbers or if any of these numbers can be tallied at all. But, I mean, this is based on where for sure that the Bush has killed 100 or more. And not directly. Not like he was like, I'm going to go kill kids today. That's going to be fun. But basically because of his command, whether it was an accident, someone else's misjudged, or they knew they'd be casualties, but they couldn't, whatever the reason, their order of some kind of a military attack caused children to be dead. So nobody is, if I'm president, I'm bullshit. If any kids are killed, I'm pissed. That's it. I'm bullshit. I'm ranting and raving and losing my mind. I am straight up losing it if any children are killed anywhere. I don't care where they get killed and how, whatever. One kid dies, I'm going ballistic. Okay? one kid dies. I may never launch another military strike again unless somebody does some fucked up shit. You'd have to do some fucked up shit to us for me to be like, yo, let's get them, you know? But, these people are psycho, so I guess whatever. But yeah, seeing the child today blown away on a bicycle, which thanks Twitter, that's nice. I'm glad that I got to see that. I mean, my day isn't completely destroyed. My life isn't completely destroyed. You know what I mean? From seeing a child in pieces on a bike. Like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to sleep fine after this. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to walk down the street tomorrow and see a bicycle and a kid on it and think of that and go, ah! Ah! But, yeah, that was weird. So thank you. Thanks, Twitter. That's what I needed today. But, yeah, so you tell me. I don't know, man. Obama is probably in second, potentially, with the drone strikes. He killed hundreds of children. So I don't think any of these people are good, by the way. You know? And how fucked up is it? And I guess it makes sense in a way. I mean, Bush was president for 8 years and took us to a war, so makes sense why he has hundreds of dead kids. Obama was president for 8 years and carried out record-breaking drone strikes. And so that was new technology. So there's no surprise that, he killed over hundreds of kids. And Trump, he only got to kill 30 to 80 kids because he was only there for 4 years. So had Trump been there for 8 years, maybe he would have hit that 100. Maybe. But believe it or not, Trump actually did the least amount of damage to children, which is interesting. It seems he's done the least amount of damage in every aspect, for whatever reason that is. I don't care if you like Trump, you hate Trump, you don't like him, you don't care, whatever the case is. For whatever reason, Trump did the least amount of damage of anybody. I don't know how that is, but I think it's because he's not part of the Players Club or the fucking deep state. I think he's just part of his own ego. So Trump's dangerous in the way that his ego could get in the way of the things. He could end up doing stupid shit because of his ego. That's Trump's issue. But these people's issue is that they're all doing shit for the deep state and for their fucking big plan of the world or whatever creepy shit that they do. And Putin's dangerous because he's not going anywhere. He's a dictator. So, I mean, they're all fucking dangerous in some way or another. I mean, Biden's dangerous. We don't even have Biden up here, but Biden's dangerous because he's a fucking idiot. I mean, apparently. So, this shit's crazy. Shit's weird. So, yeah, man, I felt bad watching that woman on video. Obviously, in a lot of videos I saw today. It just makes me angry because this is the type of shit I hate. Not trying to be Mr. Virtuous, whatever, but, man, it makes me mad when I see people who didn't do anything. It makes me mad when I see people who didn't do anything, like asking for help, in trouble, sad, sick. And I'm like, man, if I was 50 years old and I didn't have children or something like that, I don't know what I would do, bro. And I had nothing to lose, and I was like 50. I might be on my way to Ukraine right now. You know what I mean? Because that just makes me angry, seeing people in trouble and people attacking people for nothing or for no reason or for whatever. But most likely, I thought, they weren't really trying to hit the civilians. It really felt like they were trying to hit all the military installations and airports and stuff like that. And they were just going to occupy the country and take it over that way without having to do much beyond that. That's what it sort of seemed like they were setting up for. But yeah, I don't know, man. Seeing the kid blown apart on a bike earlier was, and I've seen it in the Middle East too. I've seen that stuff, and when I see that in the Middle East, that is also, it just always bothers you a lot. Like it's never going to be good to see that shit. I don't understand that. I don't know why they would do this. I don't think anybody wants to go to war is the problem. So I don't think I don't think anybody wants to go to war, and I think that Putin kind of called that bluff. And I know that it's not a bluff because they did it, like the sanctions, but the sanctions to me were a bluff. The sanctions on Russia were a bluff to me. They were like, oh, we got to do this, so it looks like we did something, but we're not going to do anything. And Putin went, oh my God, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to make up sanctions. Oh my God, let's go in and get it. That's in my opinion, that's what I would have done. If I was crazy and I wanted to take a country and I was kind of worried about a nuclear war and stuff, because Putin doesn't want a nuclear war. Putin does not want to use nukes. He does not want to be nuked, and he doesn't want to have to use nukes. He doesn't even want to have a real war. The guy doesn't want to have a real war. But, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand that. I really believe that. I think Vladimir Putin does not want a real war. He wants an easy war. If he found out for 100% sure, if Vladimir Putin found out 100% that doing this would lead to America going nuts and the rest of the world and NATO attacking and all this stuff, and then it leading to a war like that, he'd probably have not done this. He would have been like, ooh, all right, fuck that, I'm not doing that. Fuck it. They're really gonna. We can't handle a war. We don't want to do that. So we're not gonna do that. This to me is classic. He went, what are they gonna do? Oh, they're gonna sanction us. Okay, they can sanction all our banks, all these banks. That doesn't really do anything. And we can get all the funding through China anyway. Okay, so fuck that. They're going to, cyber attack us? We'll cyber attack them back. So that doesn't bother me. In fact, I think we can hit them harder. Okay, that's stupid. They're going to get mad at us and shout and scream. Okay, I don't care about that. They're going to sanction us on trade and stuff like that. All right, we'll do the same to them. So we'll all suffer a little bit, I guess. I don't care. All right, they're not going to, but they're not going to nuke us, and they're not going to start a war, and they're not going to fight hard. We're not going to have to fight America, and we're not going to have to fight NATO, really. Let's go. Win-win. That's exactly what he said, in my opinion. Putin looked at NATO, Putin looked at Biden, and he went, oh, the worst that they're going to do is wag their finger at me. I'm out. Let's go. Let's get Ukraine. Fuck it. What are they going to do? Nothing. They couldn't even get their shit out of Afghanistan. Don't you think this is part of that? You know what I mean? To me, like, oh, fuck, America wouldn't even really get... They rescued people, but they really didn't want to get involved. In fact, they wouldn't even save their billions of dollars in fucking weapons and tanks and shit. Oh, my God. Let's just go get Ukraine. Let's just get Ukraine, bro. That's got to be what it was. Don't you think that that's what it was? That Putin was like, yo, they can't get their shit out of Afghanistan. Fucking stupid. Oh, they're going to sanction me. I'm done. I'm going in. That's what he said. I guarantee that's what he thought. But if Trump was president, and it's not even that Trump is so great or whatever, but if Trump was president, I think Vladimir Putin would have been actually scared of what he would, like, this guy might do something nuts. So that's what I believe. Don't you think? If Donald Trump is president and you're Vladimir Putin, you're like, all right, this guy's kind of crazy. If I go into Ukraine, what if Donald Trump is like, no, fuck that. Even though Donald Trump doesn't like NATO either. What if Trump is like, fuck that guy. Yo, we're going to help Ukraine. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what he would do. So I feel like Vladimir Putin wouldn't have done this if Trump was president, maybe. But I don't know. I'm not one of those people that's saying that. Like, you know, some of the Republicans out there are like, it wouldn't have happened under Trump. Ah! Like, you don't know. You don't know that. I don't believe you know that. Right? And it's not necessarily because Trump is so scary as much as, like, you just don't know what he's going to do. You don't know. Unless Putin was friends with him behind the scenes, which we don't, that was all a lie apparently, but we don't know. I don't know. But I mean, we've got Putin laughing with Obama. But don't you love when people send the pictures of Putin? Oh yeah, Trump's best friend, and they're like laughing together. It's like, yeah, I've got pictures of Putin laughing with Obama. I've got pictures of Putin laughing with Bush. I've got pictures of Putin laughing with Trump. I've got pictures of Putin laughing with Hillary Clinton, probably. Like it's that doesn't matter. Like, you're stupid. That doesn't matter. But Putin might have done this anyway. He might have done this the same way, and maybe Trump wouldn't have done anything. Maybe Trump would have said, fuck, I don't know, man. We're not getting involved. Hey, we're not getting involved. It's not our thing. We're not getting involved. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing what he's doing. But can you imagine if Trump was president? They would be outcry by everybody, like the Democrats, like, get him out of here. You're not going to do anything. What the fuck? Ah! The left-wing people would be screaming if Trump wasn't doing something. But when Biden sits there and like sanctions Russia, they're like, this is, I don't know. Like, I think this is good. I mean, I don't know what to do, like, it's like, but if Trump was president, they'd be losing it. Like, we need to go. We need to protect them. But see, Putin doesn't give a shit. So he might have done it anyway, no matter who's president. He don't give a shit. That probably could have been what happened. None of us know this, I don't believe. We can theorize it. I think that maybe this would have happened anyway, but, there is a chance that Putin would have said, I want to go in and take Ukraine, and I think I could, but I don't know what Trump will do. So I don't know. And Trump might have done what the people wanted to do. What say 80% of America wanted to go save Ukraine. Trump might have gone to save Ukraine or tried to save Ukraine. What if 80% of the people in America were like, oh no, don't get us in a war? Trump would have been like, I told you I wouldn't and I won't. It's not our fight. It's a terrible thing. What's the word? I condemn what Putin's doing. Absolutely horrible. Disgusting. But we're not going to get involved. I will put the toughest sanctions on him. I'll put so many sanctions on Putin he won't know. We won't even know he exists. We'll treat him like Little Rocket Man, like nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know what would happen. But that the people of America would react completely different. Half the country would be reacting completely different. If Trump was president and Putin did this, Trump would be like, we're not going to get involved. It's not going to our war, but it's terrible. We condemn it. And I got to tell you, I'm going to put you're going to see some of this. I'm going to make Vladimir Putin's life miserable. I'm going to make it a living hell. I'm going to put some of the biggest sanctions you've ever seen on him. So you're not even going to know he's here anymore. And then the left-wing Americans would be angry. They'd be like, we need to go to war. What the fuck? What the fuck? You need to protect Ukraine. We need to go there. What are you doing? Oh, my God, Trump is with Putin. He's with Putin. That's why we're not helping. And then the right-wing people would be like, can you imagine if Biden was president? We'd be at war right now. Thank God Trump is at least not getting us into a world war. If we attack, it's a world war. Trump is keeping us out of a world war. It's just what he has to do. That would be the narrative of everybody, right? Isn't it wild to think about? But now you're sitting there thinking, if you're a right-wing person, you're sitting there thinking we would never be in this situation because Putin would be so scared of Trump he wouldn't have done this. And I still say that I don't know about that. But what I will say is there is some merit to that, like I said, in the way of the fact that Putin might have looked at Trump and said, shit, I want to take Ukraine, but I don't want a massive war. I don't want to have a massive fight. So I'm looking at Trump, and I don't know what the fuck that crazy idiot's going to do. So I'm going to hold off. And he might have looked over at Biden and NATO and said, they're just going to sanction me. That's all they're going to do. I'm just going to go take Ukraine. The sanctions will wear off in 3 to 5 years, but I'll have Ukraine. Risk reward, my friend. It's pretty fucking obvious. So that's what I believe is going on and why it makes more sense. Not that Trump or pretend you're not a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. Pretend you're neither one of those things right now and you're listening to me. It just makes sense. The risk reward makes sense. If Trump is president, you're a little bit more worried about what he might do. If Biden is president and the way NATO's been acting, you're kind of like, oh, I don't think they're going to do anything. Fuck. I'm going to go test the water. I'm going to send the first little insurgents in, see what happens. Oh, they're going to put more restrictions on me. Well, we're fucking taking Ukraine. Like, we got it. That's what Russia's thinking. To me. But I could be crazy because I am a moron with a GED. But I think all the points I've made here are very interesting, and I don't necessarily believe everything 100%. I'm just putting out the what-ifs and the scenarios. I think it's logical to say we don't know 100% on any of this stuff, but but the speculation is merited. The guessing and the speculation of the possibilities has merit behind it. Has some validity to it. I believe what I've said so far. Could be wrong. Certainly have been wrong for a long time. I would just like to say this. We're going to play the donations in a minute. Thank you guys for supporting the show with donos, man. Thank you. George Bush had this to say today. We cannot tolerate the authoritarian bullying and danger that Putin poses. Ukraine is our friend and democratic ally and deserves our full support during this most difficult time. Well, they're not really getting it, are they, George? So that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. But thank you, the war criminal, for telling us about war. George Bush, the war criminal. Maybe you can sign another Patriot Act or take the USA to another war for no reason based on lies that your own people created. Maybe your vice president's company can make a bunch of money on the whole situation because they make the weapons we use to fight people. Now, how about you just sit the fuck down, George Bush Jr., and shut the fuck up and go back to painting shit, because if this was back in the day, we'd have you upside down on a cross with a stake in your dick because you lied to everybody and got hundreds of thousands of people killed. So let's be quiet. How about that, George? How about that, Georgie? Mr. Saudi money fucking funded your little oil company, so you had to pay them back, and your whole family is full of scumbags. Needs to fucking jump off a cliff. So, yeah. You kind of suck. By the way, my buddy James Mesner, you may know him. He has cerebral palsy. He supported the show for a long time, and he has he's in need of an update to a broken van. The only way for him to transport around anywhere is by van, because his wheelchair goes into the van. You know how those things work, and he does have cerebral palsy. I love him very much. He's a nice person. He worked hard in college. He's a great guy. And if you want to give him $5 or $10, there's his GoFundMe link in the chat. Just spammed it in the chat. If you want to support him, go ahead. I'm sure he'd be thankful for anything. $5, $10. More if you like supporting handicapped type people. And he's handicapped in the mentally because he's a Trump supporter. So no, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just joking. Actually, me and him agree on a lot of things. I think I'm going to vote this next election, and it probably will not be for a left person. It'll be the first time ever. I am definitely going to vote, and it's probably going to be for an independent. If not, unless Tulsi Gabbard runs, I'll vote for Tulsi Gabbard. But if she becomes not even close to being able to win again, I might have to flip-flop to the. I might have to vote red. I've never done that. I mean, who cares? My vote really won't matter in Massachusetts, but I might have to vote red because this shit's crazy. But then again, the last time people voted red, And I don't mean the last time. I mean the second to last time. Not Trump, but the time they voted for a real red guy. George Bush, he was retarded. So, George Bush. Between George Bush and Joe Biden and Donald Trump and Obama being the most witty and of all of them, but yet sinister behind the scenes, we're pretty doomed. I mean, those are our leaders. It's kind of funny. Think about it. Joe Biden's hilarious. I mean, if you look at Joe Biden, he is hilarious. Do you realize this? People voted for this guy. I am in shock that anybody could vote for Joe Biden. I'm dead serious. I understand that Trump's whacked out and Trump was weird and, you might have thought he was some evil psycho, whatever, and maybe he is, and he's always been weird. It's true. I think the worst thing Trump ever did was putting that article out in the newspaper about the guys in the park, the black guys in the park that they said that killed that woman or whatever. I think taking that article out in the newspaper and stuff was probably, that was a rough look. That was his worst thing. Like when people say, oh, he's a racist or whatever, that was the worst thing I could ever find. Like I was like, man, that's fucking weird, But, be that as it may, Joe Biden, I mean, let's just go over this. I mean, can you really believe that people voted for this guy? A guy that said, you're not black if you don't vote for me. Do we need to show this? The Anita Hill attacks. Does anybody even remember that anymore? I don't even know. Wrote the disastrous crime bill in 1994. This guy wrote the crime bill of 1994. Do you know what that was? Most of you don't even understand. Like, you talk about targeting black people. You talk about arresting, targeting, and, validity. Like, some of these people I see, they don't like Rudy Giuliani. Some people nowadays, they don't like Rudy Giuliani. They think Rudy Giuliani was a sort of a racist person who targeted blacks for crime. This guy wrote the fucking book on it. Like the reworked book for the 90s. 1995 wrote the counterterrorism bill. I didn't even know about that. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Is that even true? Can someone verify that? Because that seems so sinister, I can't believe he did it. He really did this? Like, I almost think this isn't real. I didn't know this. In 1995, he wrote the counterterrorism bill, which became the Patriot Act. I'm always ranting about the Patriot Act. Did you know he wrote it? I didn't know that. Is that fucking true? George Bush enacted the Patriot Act? Joe Biden wrote it. That's true. This just gets more disgusting as the time goes on. In 1995, he sought out to cut Social Security. I don't remember that. I'll take this meme's word for it. Somebody else could please correct me if this is wrong, or please let me know before I embarrass myself. 1995 sought to cut Social Security. That's fucking crazy. 1996 against gay marriage. Now that I'd heard. In 1996, in 1996 I wasn't against gay marriage myself. I was not against gay marriage in 1996. I was a 12-year-old boy. And if you told me a man and a man want to get married and they want to have the same rights for these reasons, I would have said, let them get married. Fuck it. You know what Joe Biden would have said? He would have said no. No thanks. Can't do that. Really, Joe, huh? That's weird. And yet everybody champions the guy. It's weird. Now, I know he did this. Wasn't sure about him writing it, but I know he voted for it. Joe Biden voted for the Patriot Act. That's right. One of the worst fucking bills and passes of anything ever. The last 25 years, 30 years, whatever. They get to spy on you. They can grab your family members in the middle of the night. drag him down to a beach somewhere and beat him in the head with a shovel, and you can't do anything. You have no rights. They can spy on you. They can watch you. They can abduct you. They can do whatever they want to you. And they have a right to look into anything you own or do or whatever. So, that's interesting. Also, Dumb Tits also voted for the Iraq War, so he's basically George Bush. I mean, granted, he was fed the lies that came from George Bush and that administration and everybody else, but I'm going to say that he pretty much knew what he was doing. And Joe Biden, 2005, against bankruptcy to protection to students. So I don't really care about that one because I think whatever, you know what you got into, signing up for fucking college. It's a scam. But also kind of a cold-hearted fuck, and all these people champion him and these people as, oh, they're going to save us from the bills or whatever. So there we go. I think we ran down the litany of things. There's so much more you could go into, but yet people voted for this person. Somebody tell me if I'm incorrect. I would love someone to tell me, and I'm dead serious, if I'm incorrect about any of that. People voted for him. People that I know who are good people voted for him. I mean, we'd have to verify all those things, though. Because I don't know if I believe these memes.
Were opposed to it right after 1994, and you can ask the Attorney General this because I got a call when he introduced the Patriot Act. He said, Joe, I'm introducing the act basically as you wrote it in 1994. It was defeated then not by any liberals. It was defeated then by the folks who worried that we'd have the Minutemen would get in trouble, by the Mr. Barrs of the world who were worried about the...
Oh. Well, there's Joe Biden saying he wrote the Patriot Act, pretty much. Okay. Well,
that civil
in the Republican House
and that civil libertarians were opposed to it right after 1994, and you can ask the Attorney General this because I got a call when he introduced the Patriot Act. He said, Joe, I'm introducing the act basically as you wrote it in 1994. It was defeated then not by any liberals. It was defeated then by the folks who worried that we'd have the Minutemen would get in trouble.
So basically what he's saying is he's saying the liberals wanted the Patriot Act in the early 90s, but the Republicans voted against it. But then they brought it back out around 9/11, or around 1998, rewrote it sometime around then, and then passed it in 2001 after the towers were attacked. So this is a bill that was apparently, according to Joe Biden here, Joe Biden wrote it, and then it didn't work out. And then later on, somebody rewrote a new bill called the Patriot Act, but it was basically Joe Biden's bill. They ripped it off. And the guy told Joe, hey, I hope you don't mind. We're going to call it something different. Changed around a little bit. And then it got brought up in the late 90s, and then it got actually used in the year 2001. Imagine that. 3 years after it got brought up and rewritten and called the Patriot Act in the late 90s, 3 years later, suddenly we need it. Suddenly we need the Patriot Act all of a sudden. Just happened to wrote it 3 years ago. It just happened to be written in 1994, but it was turned down, and then we just happened to rewrite it in the late 90s in 1998, 99, and then 3 years later we just happened to have to use it because our towers got attacked by two planes. We couldn't see coming. We couldn't see the aircrafts coming at the fucking buildings, guys. We had no idea that one would crash. Then we certainly had no idea a second was going to crash. And guess what, guys? The most protected building in the entire country. The most protected building in the entire country. We couldn't see it coming. The aircraft was on a trajectory towards the Pentagon, our most sacred, protected military complex with all the secrets, and a plane was on a collision course with it, but somehow the radar didn't work, the missiles didn't work, the jets didn't work, nothing worked. The plane just flew right into the building. Hey, everybody, everywhere in the world, did you ever want to blow up America? Well, guess what? The secret is you can just do it. Fly a plane into us. We won't stop it. We don't have radar. We don't have heat-seeking defense systems. We don't have ballistic missiles. We don't have advanced radar systems and subsonic technologies and air traffic controllers. We don't have any of that. We don't know where the planes are going to go. We don't know. Just fly right into the Pentagon. I didn't know that. Did you know that? You can just fly right into our shit. It doesn't matter. Even after 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 planes keep crashing into things, we just let it happen. It just another plane flew into something. No, I don't believe this. I'm not a moron. These people, like, you actually believe that the Pentagon, you think that right now if somebody shot something at the Pentagon, it wouldn't, we couldn't stop it if we wanted to? Bro. I feel bad for Ukraine, though. Clinton had an option to kill bin Laden back in 98. He passed. That's true. But he also warned Bush that they were planning on taking over planes and flying them into buildings. And I think the warning was actually good information. I think Bush and Dick Cheney went, wait, what are they going to do? Oh, they're planning to hijack planes and fly it into our buildings and stuff. Oh. Okay. We can use that. Hopefully that happens, because we're going to make a bunch of money. It's going to be great. Well, a lot of my fellow Boston people in here tonight. What's going on? Remote control planes were a thing even in the 90s, says Zepper. Zepper? How do you say your name, man? My bad. Bring Miro back and have a flag match against Cena. Yeah, that'd be funny. 0 photos or videos released of the Pentagon being hit. Most surveillance buildings, blah-de-da-da-doo. Do you think Putin will go beyond Ukraine, says Tom Stocks Investing Channels. What's going on, man? What up, Trevor? That's a hell of a lot of emojis, man. What's going on? I don't think he will. I saw people saying he's going to go beyond that and stuff like that. Tell me why, because I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know why he would go beyond Ukraine. Why would he go beyond Ukraine? I mean, I think he just wants the old Soviet Union back. So tell me why. I think he just wants Ukraine. It's that simple. I want that shit back. Now, if you tell me what else was part of the Soviet Union that I'm missing here, then yeah, maybe I would believe that. I think he wants the full thing back. What the fuck is texting me? What in the fuck is going on? By the way, I know that I got we got a big snowstorm coming to Boston tonight, 1 a.m. We're looking at over a foot of snow. And I definitely expect that to get weird tonight. No doubt about it. I'm going to go to Discord in a few minutes, too. Poland is next. Okay. Poland is next. I don't think that... Man, do you think that... I don't think that the world is going to stand by for much more. But then again, I'm surprised the world is standing by now. I got to be honest, I don't want to go to war, and I don't want a war. I badly don't want war at all. I have children. I have a son who's 12. I don't want a 10-year war that could get my son drafted or something like that. Absolutely do not want a war. I'll be very angry that I didn't get drafted and my kid did. And we probably wouldn't have that anyway. Because I'd probably just leave and go somewhere. But, man, I do not want a war, but I am surprised that the world let this happen. And now I'm not surprised that Putin did it, because with seeing how the world is reacting, not doing anything, makes me realize, wow, I mean, Putin made the right call for his crazy point of view. I mean, obviously, I don't think that. I think leave these people alone. Just be happy. You own Russia. Just why do you need to get Ukraine? Because it has the water, the location of the water in the area where they are. It helps them. It helps them with mining stuff and oil and gas, and the location's huge for Russia. Plus, having that part of Russia back again. All these reasons. There's a bunch of other reasons, I guess. You know, I'm not the brightest bulb about this stuff. I don't know. They're also not happy that NATO is controlling Ukraine. You know what I mean? If the U.S. was doing stuff that was provoking this a little bit, and Putin said, well, no, fuck this. You know, you're provoking stuff. You're making it seem like the Ukraine's part of NATO. Bullshit. All right, I'm going to go take Ukraine. And I bet you no one does shit. That's what Putin said, probably, in his head. And he's right. He did it. No one did anything. You know what I mean? But in America, we don't want to do anything anymore. We don't want to butt in on people's stuff. You know, in America, and we already felt this way back in the year 2000. And it wasn't until if the terrorist attacks, or as I call it, our own government in 9/11 wasn't done so we could go to war for reasons. They made that war up so we could go do something, you know, or they let it happen. Danny MT, we're going to talk in a minute, man. I'm going to get you on Discord. Danny, we'll talk to you in a second, Danny. You stand by, brother. I'm going to get you on here. America and NATO have been screwing with Russia, and Ukraine is kind of a puppet of America. And so Russia was like, F this. We're going to take away that control right now. You know? And maybe Biden's happy to let Russia do it because they're burning all the documents of Hunter Biden. All of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's corruption. Anybody else think they might be burning all the documents right now? You know? Remember all the documents that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were worried about? And even the people over there in the Ukraine were worried about? All the weird illegal shit that our president and his son, especially his son, did over in Ukraine? You ever think about that? Maybe Biden doesn't want to do anything because if the whole place turns to ashes, nobody will find out about some of the stuff that they did over there. Pretty fucking crazy what Biden and his son did. And if you don't know about that, where have you been? They don't talk about it on the news. Anybody else think that maybe they're trying to burn all the evidence and destroy all the evidence? Oh, wait. They are doing that. Probably got a laptop in that fire, huh? Couple laptops going up in flames. Could be a little conspiracy, a tinfoil hattish, though. Could be the names of security guards, officers. Could be the names of people that they don't want executed or hunted down and things like that. Maybe that's what they're burning. You know, you don't know. I don't know what the Ukrainian intelligence office is burning in a giant pile in the middle of the day today. I don't know. Could have been pictures, names, secrets. Hunter Biden's laptop. The names of all the children that they help sell to the black market. I don't know. We don't know what it was. But we can speculate. Ukraine is not in NATO. That is true. But my point in saying that is Ukraine is not in NATO. But Ukraine is not in NATO. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing as we weren't in World War II. We weren't in World War II except for all the weapons and people that we gave to the UK to help fight in World War II. Therefore, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. Because the Japanese said, oh, you're not in the World War, huh? Then why are you supplying our enemies with a bunch of fucking weapons and aircraft and people? Guess what? You're in the war, cocksuckers. That's why Japan didn't attack our civilians, for the most part, right? Japan didn't just bomb our neighborhoods. They bombed a military base, and one that was fairly low key, right? I believe Pearl Harbor was pretty low key, but I mean I could be wrong. Not the biggest history buff either, but Japan said, "Oh, you're not in the war? You are now because you have been, and you're full of shit." So when Ukraine is not in NATO, but doing all kinds of things to assist NATO and help NATO and be a part of it in a way, to me, I think that that's the point of Russia, of like, yo, nope, not letting this happen. You're not going to do this. We're going to just take Ukraine back. How about that? I know they haven't made it in, Derek. I understand that they're not technically in NATO. That's not what I'm saying. My point is Russia believes, like, okay, they're being pretty much controlled and manipulated. They're not supposed to join NATO. I don't think they're supposed to. That's the point. But they're basically operating in a way like they're supporting NATO. That's what I think. I'm just looking at it from either side of why they're doing this stuff. Anyway, I got to go to the donos real quick, and then we're going to go to the Discord. Danny MT's in there freaking out.
Super chat party!
The Black Mafia.
Oh, yeah?
Greek.
Cody is the next 24/7 champion.
No. Dude, that would just be sick, sad, and pathetic. That would absolutely be sick, sad, and pathetic. That will not happen. I am just, nope, not even gonna go there. Coot Dilute. What's up, Coot? Coop, I hope you jump into the Discord maybe. What's up, everybody? Hit that like button down below. If you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe. And if you guys like political stuff,
eat our own shitty in Philly with pretty, yo. This whole city with gritty, yo. We might eat our own shitty, yeah. Eat our own shitty in the city, Philly. We eat shitty,
yo. They eat shit in Philly. Did you guys know this?
A motherfucking own PCs in Philly with gritty.
Oh yeah, in Philadelphia,
We'll eat our own shitty
their own shit.
That's why our mascot looks like a.
The Russians are showing why they are alpha males. I don't agree on what's going on, but they are alphas. Ukraine is for sure beta males. They have no backbones. The women in these countries need stay in the kitchen and off the battlefield. Your uterus is useless.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Jesse Lee Peterson. My God. You have a huge point, Joe. Okay, I hope I do. I mean, I hope I'm onto something. Jeffro DeBoss. What up, Jeffro? How you doing, man? Holy shit, it's good to see you. How are you guys doing in the chat? Hope you guys hit the like button. You sub if you're new. If you guys really like political talk and these weird discussions that I'm doing right now, this channel is mostly about sports, wrestling, comedy, and other things. So although we do this here from time to time, I do recommend you sub to my other channel, Shame on News. Shame on News is where I try to cover most political things and discussions and shit like that, and I have fun doing it there. A little bit of comedy in there too, but man, we got some people on Discord. We got Garguts, Tex the Champ, and more. It's going to get weird over there.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
Dab on Deb.
Hey, what up, Joe?
What's up?
Wanted to say I am a 22-year-old guy and I tend to pay attention to news coverage and politics more than the average person, and this ranks in the top 3 all-time most craziest days I've seen. How do you think other age generations are reacting?
This is the type of, I saw a quote earlier from the last time we've sort of seen something like this you know, I mean, it's the first time we've ever been able to cover something like this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we've never. Okay, so like, I'm trying to go back in time, right? When I was a little kid, a very, very young kid, I heard about the Berlin Wall or whatever, the wall coming down or whatever it was. That seemed significantly like a good thing, like people were coming together somehow, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I just knew that people that didn't like each other that built a wall at some point, you know, were tearing this wall down, and it seemed like it was a good thing. Then the Gulf War happened, and that was televised on the news, and we were involved in that. Our military was in the Gulf, and so as an 8-year-old or whatever, I saw the Gulf War and was like, oh, this is crazy. So I did see that. We did see that. It was the first time we had news media covering something like that. So that was interesting and weird and scary and bizarre to me. And then really the next time I didn't really see anything crazy until September 11th happened, and then that was unlike anything. And I was like, oh my God, this is our Pearl Harbor. Like, we're having a Pearl Harbor. I've grown up hearing about these attacks and wars in history, but this is a war, but it's not, because we don't really know who did it, and it's terrorism, and so it's like we'd only seen movies about this and stuff, and like, this is insane that this is happening. It felt unbelievable. But I'd say, yeah, for this generation, this is the first time that a whole generation worldwide is witnessing the invasion of a country, and we're seeing it on Twitter timeline, you know, and everywhere. And like, no one's ever seen anything, you know what I mean, like this on this scale, as far as like being able to see everything that's going on or whatever. So that's about it, man. It's not that this stuff has been going on for a while, very similar to how World War I started to me. You may, if you're a history guy out there, you're thinking, Joe, no, that's not how World War I started. But this does feel like the 1938, 39 vibe, but we're all getting to witness it on Twitter, you know, or on CNN or on whatever you're watching TV. Like, it's weird because you've heard about that, and back then people would have just read about it in the newspaper or the radio. They'd be sitting around listening to the radio where they'd be like, the nukes, Russia has engaged, there's word that they've penetrated the defenses of the Ukraine soldiers. So the world heard about it over the radio, you know, and then in newspaper and pictures eventually. So it's not that different, but it is different because they're seeing the videos. And every country is getting their misinformation in different ways too. So yeah, you're right. The attack on the World Trade Center in 1993 was also something, but that felt like a terrorist attack, and that felt pretty crazy. The Oklahoma City bombing felt pretty crazy. You know, there's a lot of these things that have happened. The Boston bombing. You know, if you're 20, you remember that. You're probably a younger person when that happened. That was probably maybe crazy to you. Certainly was crazy to me because I almost went to the Boston Marathon. I was almost at the finish line. And if you guys were watching my show at the time, you remember, I said I may not be live tomorrow because I'm going down to the Boston Marathon. Brennan, what's going on?
I wanted to ask, when you're done with your show, could you see if you can get this thing?
What thing?
It's like a thing on Minecraft, like characters.
Is it money?
Yeah.
How much is it?
I don't know.
Ask Mommy to look at it and then send me how much it is. Okay? I love you. You being good? It's almost bedtime, okay? I'm letting you stay up late, but it's almost bedtime now. Love you. It's probably like one of those $3 character things. Minecraft. Well, I know my daughter's not happy with Putin. I'll tell you that. She was freaking out earlier. I minorly told her what was going on.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
Joe, this is important fact about drone strikes.
Thank you.
First of all, the true numbers are nearly impossible to know exactly.
I figured.
We do know the number of civilian deaths from U.S. drone strikes was around 2,800 under Trump's first year, and around 3,000 for...
and around 3,000 for all 8 Obama years. Damn. Yeah, it's hard to say. So that's a good point, Oven Mittens. I don't know. I have to spend time looking that up and be fully educated on that. Right now, I'm not very educated on that whatsoever. I was coming back from Chinese food from green tea when that happened. Troy, do you want to know a sad thing? Do you know, even though green tea was one of the worst, like, or wasn't a Japanese restaurant with sushi. I mean, they had sushi, but they weren't really a Japanese restaurant. And the sushi wasn't the best. I don't know what it was, but green tea had some of the best tasting bad sushi I've ever had in my life. And other than Fuji and Quincy, green tea sushi was phenomenal. And it was about 2 years ago that I was like, you know what? I haven't had green tea in years. I'm going to drive to Newton, Massachusetts, and I'm going to have green tea sushi because it was cheap and it was good. It was so good. It had a particular taste that I've never found before. I have never, ever been able to replicate the taste of green tea sushi, ever. And although it wasn't the best sushi, it had some kind of weird, different taste that I loved. And I went to drive to Newton to have it. And they went out of business. I am beside myself because I loved that family. It was a Chinese family. Well, I mean, they're Americans, but I mean, they just got in here not that long ago. And they were, family-owned restaurant, and they went out of business, man. And I remember them talking about, ooh, it's getting a little rough. We don't know what's going to happen. But I never thought anything really. And then the shoe company moved out, so they probably lost. They probably had 5 to 15 orders a day that came from our company, and our company moved. So that just stinks, man. I love those people. I love that food. And I don't know what they're doing now, man. But I love that family, too. Only the son spoke English, but I don't know, man. This just sucked. No, they all spoke English. I'm just kidding. What's up? What's up, honey?
So Mom said we had to go to bed, and is it okay if I go sleep on the pumper and watch something on the TV?
Okay. Do you know how to turn it on? You got to turn on the receiver?
But I want you to come out and help me.
All right, I'll be out there in 1 second. Okay?
I really want you to sleep with me.
Yeah, I might. I got to do some work. I'm actually doing some work after this. I got to practice my work here. But hang on, I got to finish my thing. I'll be out in a minute, all right? Go lay down.
Are you almost done so you can come be with me?
A few minutes. All right. Are you eating popcorn? Isn't it a little late to eat that? Or chips? Oh, my God, Bren.
What?
It's so late. What are you doing?
These aren't even that bad for you.
They're not the best for you, honey. There's a green tea in Lynn, Mass. Did they move there? There was a lot of green teas, to be honest. But the green tea in Newton, Mass was so good. I love this. I love those people. Super sad. Anyone else tune into the cam girls from Ukraine just to see how they're doing, or is it just me? Jesus.
How do you do it to them?
Do what?
On
Oh,
TV?
you got to turn the bottom on, then click down to switch it to 2. I got to do it for you. Just wait. I got to do it for you. Let me hop into the chat.
Not being able to manage your emotions and shit.
I'm gonna manage your emotions.
I bet you are, Joe. You're gonna come down here during the snowstorm and manage my emotions.
Oh, I'm gonna manage your emotions. Then I'm gonna manage your country.
What are you, Russia?
Yeah, I'm Russia. I'm gonna manage your country, bro. I'm gonna come down there and take care of things.
It's finally.
Yo, what up,
Hey,
Danny?
A
What
lot
up?
of fucking morons in your shit, fucking Joe.
All right,
Wow.
unleash, Danny.
So there's
Go
a
ahead.
bunch of idiots in this chat right now. Good God.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so too? I thought you guys agree. You're with each other?
We're
I have not
my
read
friend
so
here
much
is
ignorant shit in
99%
my
more
life.
intelligent than most of these cretins that's in this chat wall right now. So yes.
So, all right, Danny MT, hit me up with what are your thoughts? You've been in the chat for a while. You're upset about some things.
Yeah, well, it's not even about some things. It's a lot of things. Like a lot of shit that I've seen, you know, while reading or whatever, that I'm just appalled by. Because, my God, like the fucking no knowing of shit at all. Like, Jesus Christ. Look, okay, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Ask me a
you got to
question.
figure out
'Cause
somewhere
I
to
don't even know
begin.
where the fuck to begin.
Think of a thing you saw in the chat, and then tell people why it's wrong. So what
How
do you?
about, hey Danny,
Oh,
how about we
let's
start with
start.
the stuff who's actually NATO and who's doing what? Because we were both kind of hot on that.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
well,
so
we
that's
know.
great.
All right, so I said earlier, I know that Ukraine is not part of NATO. The point is, though, that
That's bullshit.
Russia doesn't believe. It's like what I said earlier. Yeah, they're not part of NATO, but like we're feeding them all this stuff, like to do our shit, right? So
They want to be a part of NATO.
right.
That's
They're
why they're
trying to be
working
part
with
of
America.
NATO.
Right, and
That's why people from America are over there,
Mhm.
and they're teaching these people new militant fucking actions and getting them fucking right in order to fight. Like, they want to be a part of it. It's been said, and right now, that's what's going on. They don't fucking want Russia to fucking do this shit. Like, if it's a part, if it's got to come down to them being a part of fucking NATO, that's what they want to fucking do. That's what they want to do. And that's exactly why they're allowing American troops and others that are in countries that are a part of NATO to teach them military tactics and all that stuff or whatever, because they want to remain their own fucking country. So these people in the fucking chat that have been saying shit earlier, like, oh no, they're not NATO, they don't want nothing to do with it. You're fucking dumb. You're dumb. Super dumb.
Well, technically they're not, but they want to be, like you said.
Well,
They
look at it
want to
this
be,
way.
yes, which is why, I mean,
That's why Putin's upset. He's like, no, I'm not losing this.
How would you describe it? Okay, if
I think I did. I think I described it as kind of like, oh yeah, we're not part of that, and America says we won't bring them in and all this stuff, but yet they're trying to be in, and we're doing everything. Like it's like the guy who says he's not in the fight, but then from afar he's throwing a rock at someone. Does that make sense?
Y'all not realize. Go back 6 months and just look at what Vladimir Putin has been saying about NATO, about not wanting to join, about not doing all of these things. How he wants Russia to be its own thing. The same thing that Trump was preaching, nationalism here. We don't need everybody joined together. And then NATO starts putting weapons on their border. Go back to the Cuban Missile Crisis with JFK. They are basically saying the same things that were said back then, but since it's coming out of Russian mouths, it's the bad guy. Because all these people sit here and think Putin's the bad guy because that's what CNN tells them. America is neck deep in this thing. We are meddling in stuff that we have no position in, no business in. We need to water our own yard. Leave this alone. This is not our fight. But your president, everybody, that y'all wanted change for, he killed the Keystone Pipeline. He's bankrupt this country, makes everything so expensive you can't buy it. And he has meddled in everything when it comes to this, down to the nuts and bolts. So I hope this is the change y'all wanted, because now we're all screwed. Thanks a lot.
Yep, they're screwed. We're not screwed. We're Texas.
Yes,
We got our own thing.
Texas has seceded. Screw y'all. We don't need 50 stars. We only need one. So good luck to the rest of you.
We got our own army, and thank God that Texas has been so fucking waiting for this day to come, that all the bunkers that were made for Y2K and when the world's going to end, we can use those for nuclear attacks and hide in our own fucking backyard. Still live, because we don't give a fuck.
Okay,
And
well
I think I
that's
still got
a
food.
thing, but
I think I still
you know,
got food
I
down
love
there
you.
from like 10 years ago.
This whole thing is so stupid.
It is.
The whole thing is so fucking stupid. Okay, first of all, when it comes to NATO and all that stuff, like who's the big bad daddy of it all? It's America. Okay, so they're going to be the ones that are going to intervene and try to push this shit to where, you know, like, oh, we got to get this taken care of, or whatever. Biden's trying to fucking make a name for himself. He's a fucking senile piece of shit. Whatever.
Exactly.
Everybody knows that. So I'm just speaking things that people know. But you know, the fact remains still, like what I was saying before, like when I brought up, you asked me, Joe, like what's the first thing that I think of, you know, like when I'm reading the chat, and it's people that are like, oh, you know, Ukraine's not NATO and doesn't want anything to do. Like, no, obviously they do, because America and other countries that are affiliated with NATO are helping them military wise, training them, doing all this stuff because they want to keep their own country. They feel they deserve it, they want it, and they do deserve it. I'm not even speaking on this about my fucking family and all that shit or whatever. I've got family out of fucking Russia and Ukraine as we speak because of all this bullshit. But they want to be a part of it. If they didn't want to be, why the fuck would they train from people in countries that are NATO affiliated to go ahead and try to fucking, you know, like, I guess have like a better upper hand, you know, like to help themselves.
Why would they give fucking guns to the same people we're trying to take down? You know, they've been doing
Who
weird
gave
shit.
guns to who? What do you mean?
Bush.
No, I didn't
fucking
ask you a
Osama
name.
bin
I said,
Laden.
who is giving guns to who?
I'm saying the fucking U.S. Why would we fucking do shit like that and then pull back from it? They're gonna fall through with their own plan and they're gonna fucking do their own bullshit. That's why I don't vote.
Look at how
what
many.
you're talking about there.
Look at how many countries America has trained giving guns to: Israel, Afghanistan. Go back and look at pictures of Osama bin Laden standing next to Hillary Clinton and Dick Cheney. Okay, we train these people, we arm them, and then we're surprised when things happen. We're surprised these things go off. Are you people blind? We set up our own bad guy that we fight the next 10 years. This is all a distraction. This is all to take your control, to take more power away and enslave more of you. Open your minds, people. Stop watching CNN. And whoever in the crap Tom stock is, get in the Discord, bud. I ain't no Russian bot, you bleeding liberal heart moron. I'll cut you down any day of the week. Come at me. You don't want it.
Well,
bunch of no wonder Joe Biden was elected president.
And you know, like,
it's like this.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's why I don't
I'm
fuck.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll wait till you're done.
Did you say bot?
No, go ahead.
Oh no,
Yeah,
because
no.
It's an inside joke
No.
now because people saying that fucking Texas is a bot. Anyways, so somebody else had made a comment about like, oh no, there's no way that China's gonna fucking back up Russia or whatever. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you watching anything live, bro? Like, okay, that broad that's the fucking speaker of fucking China already said like, no, Russia's not doing anything wrong. You know, like they're not fucking being the aggressors in this or whatever. Okay, first of all, that's a red flag because they definitely are. And I'm speaking on my own motherfucking people, first of all. Second, they have already said before that they will back Russia. This is a little fucking chess game or whatever. Like,
China did to their own people, to their own Hong Kong. You know what I'm saying? They've been taking it over for the last 3 years. So of course they're gonna back something like this.
yeah, they're gonna back it. Just as well as Cuba.
This
Even
is-
Cuba ain't really shit. It's just a fucking island out in the Caribbean or whatever. That's a fucking stop-off point for fucking Russia to go over there and be that much closer to America. Iran, oh, they're loving this shit. And you know what? America fucked up with Iran anyways, too, because if you want to go back a couple years, funding them fucking billions of dollars for them to even fucking upgrade, like, much more on their, you know, like, their military and their nuclear and all that stuff or whatever. They're just waiting. They're just waiting. The reason why Putin backed down back in the day, like, what, 2000 2014 or whatever, when they were having the issues with fucking Syria and all that or whatever, and they're like, oh no, we ain't trying to go against America or nobody or nothing, like we ain't trying to do that, and he backed out because he didn't have the fucking people behind him yet. Now he does. He don't give a fuck. That's why he's acting gangster now. Think about it. Why would this guy all of a sudden just like fruit out and be like, oh yeah, no, okay, we'll respond to anything that anybody says because Russia alone, he thinks, is gonna fucking take over everything? No. Wake the fuck up.
Did anybody not?
Ignorant.
Did any of y'all pay attention to this previous election we just went through with all the Ukraine and Russia stuff with Hunter Biden and all of that controversy that happened that involved the Chinese? Did nobody listen or read any of that? All of this is why America's involved in it. There is so many ties to so many things here that I guarantee you most people hadn't even looked at.
You're so right. You're so right.
The stupidity is aggravating.
Well, that was your hot take on that. So now that you've run that into the ground almost, did you have anything else that you had a hot take on?
I probably do, but I don't give a shit enough to say it. So, what do you got to say, my friend?
I said, let it rain fucking bullets. Fuck it.
I do too.
Well, that's what's gonna happen.
Let's do this thing.
And Putin has the fucking nutsack to say, you know what was it, like earlier this month? He's like, okay, this is what's going on, and we're going to continue doing what we're gonna do. And sure, okay, America, yeah, you're stronger in force and in bodies and all that. He's like, but guess what? We have nuclear. You literally can't shoot our shit down. We can slow down our missiles, speed them up, down, left, right, this, that, and the other. We are not going to get shot down. So if you want to go that route, let's go. Let's go. But do you really think behind that fucking comment, he doesn't feel like someone's going to back him up on that? The dude's not dumb. Think about it. Like, this is...
If anybody doesn't realize that China and George Soros are the big bads here, they're pulling all these cards. It's not the elected officials that are the ones you need to worry about. They're not. They're the faces of all this. Go look at half of what George Soros has done, meddling in elections, installing people that he controls. Look at what China does. Look at how much China owns of just the United States. The debt, the influential companies, hundreds of thousands of acres of land that so much comes from. Russia's not the bad guy here. China's the one you really need to worry about.
Yup. Thank you.
This is not a Russia thing. Wake up, people.
You're worried about China?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Whistleblowers and people that are so deep within fucking government shit regarding America have even said this. What will be America's demise is China. They don't say fucking Russia or what's his fucking dumbass name over
really,
there.
because all I hear,
they say China.
All I ever hear about is like the Russian disinformation. They're saying
that's all they want you to hear. That's all they want.
Yeah, because they don't want you to be mad at China.
One direction, so you're thinking like, oh, it's this. That's tactics, bro. That's
yeah, no, I get it. Like, look at what Russia does, Russia or this, Russia that. Oh, how dare you? No, China's great. We don't say anything about them. Like, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, look at the whole China thing. Like, I mean, you couldn't do anything.
Look up how much China owns. They own every major Hollywood studio. They own tons of them are dead. They own most of our.
I don't think they own. Wait a minute. What studios do they own? Are you serious? I mean, they make. They dictate a lot of things that the studios do.
I mean.
Look it up.
Would they be changing all sorts of shit to fit China's theater?
That's true.
Okay. True. Just perfect example. That new Top Gun movie that was supposed to come out, they shot the movie. It had to be pulled because some of the enemy planes had Chinese imagery on them. They made them go in and digitally remove that because they didn't like how their image was presented.
Yeah, it's
Just for a small
their
example.
communism. We're acquiescing to their communism.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Hell, South Park did a whole season about it, about all the Disney characters getting on a plane going over to China to appease the emperor. You know, like that's how far this has gotten.
Watch that.
When South Park is roasting you, you know you've gone too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They had Winnie the Pooh and the Cell on that.
They're nothing. Russia just wants to be left alone. Ukraine belongs to Russia. Let them have it. This is not America's issue. We need to stay out of this.
Well,
bottom line. Think what you will, but this is not America's problem. American lives do not need to be sacrificed for some global agenda for these elites that are using us as chess pieces.
Well, no doubt about it. No doubt that most people agree with you because 48% say Russia's wrong for attacking, and number 2 is USA and NATO should stay out of it. So there you go. I think people.
NATO's the problem here. It's not Russia.
Well,
it is what it
is. What is NATO doing that's the problem?
NATO's the one that's getting involved and sparking this to be much more than what it needs to be. Okay.
But wait, so, but Russia's invaded Ukraine. I mean, is NATO invaded Russia? Like, what is Russia? Like, I get why NATO's annoying. Like, I get
NATO put their weapons on the Russian border and threatened to use them. What would you do if somebody was threatening your house? Would you not react?
So what you're saying
is... We did the same thing in the Cuban Missile Crisis. We did the same thing. A president got assassinated because of what happened.
Right. Yeah, because NATO has close range to Russia.
Yes.
Russia and Putin is like, well, we can't let these people, just be allowed to set up shop right next to us, right on us. We got to take that away.
100%.
It'd be like if, basically if Ottawa, Canada, was taken over by China and Russia, and they said they were going to stay out of it, and then Russia and China put a bunch of fucking missiles right there, and we were like, okay, we can't just let Ottawa, be owned by Russia and China on our border. Like we're gonna get Ottawa back to Canada.
NATO, there's a reason Trump pulled us out of all of these groups because he saw them for what they was. And I'm not a Trump guy, just for the record. I will not be supporting him in the next election. He's pushing these vaccinations. Trump is just as full of crap as everybody else is, just for the record. I know what y'all are going to say.
So what you're saying is Trump sold out?
I think Trump's been part of them from the beginning, but that's a whole different.
Really, the pictures with him and Hillary and Bill for years didn't.
Well,
exactly.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That's already been exposed.
Like I said, I'm not a Trump guy, but at least he had some sense enough to say we're not going to be part of these things. America's going to do its own thing. This is why nationalism is an okay thing. It's okay to be proud of where you're from and take care of your home. You don't have to be part of the global initiative. I'm not merging my house with yours. That makes no sense.
Do you think that there could have been anything Russia could have done better to take over, or do you think that they tried their best? Because to me, that it seems like Russia did try their best to only take over like the airports, the military complexes. There's a couple of kids in pieces on bicycles who disagree, but they seemingly targeted these.
Exact motive. Russia is trying to get back into Ukraine and take them back, and then that is a little bit of a fucking leeway for them to start expanding outside of Ukraine, take over more and more. Basically, I guess kind of the concept of going back to Soviet times. This is back whenever fucking I came to America. When it was USSR.
Now, we also made a deal with Ukraine that, hey man, you guys are gonna have to cough up your nukes, but if anything ever happens, we'll protect you. But so we lied. We literally broke the treaty. We said we would protect you if you're attacked, but you have to give up nukes. So Ukraine give up nukes. But So what does that mean? What does that mean? I mean,
Well-
like, does anyone think about that? Like, because, like, you know, we told Russia, hey, listen, we're not going to let Ukraine nuke you either. You know, we're going to, you know, and then also we're going to take Ukraine's nukes. And, hey, Ukraine, we promise that if you give us the nukes and you don't do nuclear stuff and do that, we will protect you. Well, now they're invaded, and we're not protecting anybody.
Sure, we can quote unquote protect. They like take away nukes because Ukraine wanting to be and stay their own country and basically restore like who they are as people outside of control. Yeah, there might be people that are gonna be like, okay, yeah, you know, they're gonna do something crazy, and then that has a so I get it.
But do you think now? Do you think that it's not that they're worried about Ukraine? Like Russia's not really worried about Ukraine. Russia's as much as Russia's
Russia
worried.
is worried about Ukraine.
Well, okay, Russia's worried about Ukraine, but I think. Do you think that they're more worried about how Ukraine will assist NATO and maybe the U.S. and anybody else in positioning? Like that's what they're really worried about is them harboring Russia's enemies is what they're worried about. Not that, like, if they were very friendly with Ukraine and Ukraine was trying to be a part of Russia in a way but separate, you know, still be their own country but be allied, that then they wouldn't do this because they wouldn't think that, you know, the U.S. could just come in and do what they're doing. So if the U.S. and NATO stayed away from Ukraine but we were friendly, this wouldn't happen, you think? Or you think it still would happen?
Well, that's actually a good point to bring up. I mean, yes, I think so. When you said, yeah, I do. But what's going on now, it's like, okay, well, now we're going to help them out because America realizes that if Putin pushes way in, bully out fucking Ukraine again, that gives them extra area to move outside of borders to start reaching out to other countries. You know, we got to start looking at fucking, you know, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, fucking Uzbekistan, you know, all these surrounding shit, fucking Belarus. What are the other ones that are involved now? Fucking
Poland.
Poland, all this shit. Like, okay, is that not like kind of like a hint there that we're going back to trying to take over all that area that Russia used to have?
It wants the old Soviet Union back. I get it.
You know, like,
but I just don't think that I don't like I get that sort of people are playing games and stuff like that, but he actually did it. So I just have to point the finger at whoever did it. And, you know, to me, like, you know, him doing this, you know, and it just seems unnecessary. Like, I understand that he's annoyed and the strategy of where the U.S. is and NATO is, but I would just be like, you know, I guess I'm someone who would make someone else make the first move, you know, and I feel like this, even though I feel like this is the first move. This is a pretty big move to make.
That's what Biden's doing. Hey, we're totally being the defensive side. We're not being the offensive. And by the way, there, Trey Walker, you ain't got to worry about Moldova and fucking Finland because they're not having a fucking part of it. They've already been trying to. Well, Moldova, I think, was taken over by the Soviet. Finland wasn't. Finland fought to the fucking death, and they were never taken by them. They ain't about to fucking let that happen.
Have you guys
all
seen
of this?
Sorry,
Go ahead,
have you guys seen the picture floating around on the internet of Hitler and Putin?
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, we're not even close to that yet. You know.
Can we stop calling everything Nazi? Like whenever we think something's evil or bad, can we stop doing that? Because anytime you do that, it makes you look as stupid as possible.
I don't think, and I don't think
that's so retarded.
I said this earlier. I don't know how long you're listening to me, but I don't think Putin wants to use nukes at all. I think Putin thought, oh, all they're gonna do is do some goofy sanctions on me. I'm going to go in and get Ukraine. Fuck this. You know, they're not going to do anything. And there's he wouldn't. I don't think he wants to. He definitely doesn't want to nuke anybody, and he didn't even want to send in the full fucking regime, and he didn't even expect any kind of counter, like by anybody else.
Right.
Like he was like, no, we'll just go in there, do this, target the military complexes, and that's about it. We'll take it.
I want everybody to remember what Joe Biden says and all his administration has already said about how borders matter, how lines matter, and why America needs to be involved in this. Whenever it comes to our southern border and we're being flooded with thousands on the daily, and they say that one should be open.
Who's bombing
They're
our?
literally talking about
Who's bombing?
both sides
But they're not bombing our borders. It's a little different.
It's different in a different way, Joe.
Yeah, I know, but it is different.
Lines don't matter for our southern border, but their lines do. That's the problem.
No,
their sovereignty matters, but ours is not important.
Well, but it's different. Like if Mexico started bombing, if Mexico shot a missile at Houston, that'd be different.
Yeah, but
flooding it
peddles
with
a bunch of drugs in stuff.
Yeah, that's happening in every country.
Thousands of people, drugs, and everything else. It may not be a missile, but it's still destructive.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. I think we need to strengthen the border as well. I'm totally with you. The border crisis is a crisis and a problem, but it's a different problem. It's not, if the cartels were missiling Houston, or if the cartels were looking to take over San Antonio.
The cartels are back.
But I mean, like, if they were trying to, like, if Mexico or a rogue gang was trying to, take over Texas, that would be different. That's what I don't think.
They just take over LA and shit.
Well, LA's been taken over by retards, but that's a whole different thing. That's another different thing. But no, this is different. This is a guy who's going in to claim a whole territory for his country. Mexico's not doing that to the U.S. The border crisis.
Either way, Ukraine is not America's problem. We have no business in this. We need to stay out of it.
Well, I would agree with you, and I kind of hope we would do that with almost everything. But the problem is, Ukraine.
We're not the world's police.
We're heavily involved in Ukraine, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was about to say if they're backing them, that means that they're heavily trying to,
they've got all Hunter Biden's secrets over there.
All America, in the middle of everything. Always got to be in the middle of everything.
Did you know that Joe Biden wrote the Patriot Act? I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
That was crazy.
I would have to fact check that before I believe it.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on. You must not have been watching earlier. I went off. I had a whole rant. Watch this. Check this out.
The representatives in the Republican House
and that civil libertarians were opposed to it right after 1994, and you can ask the Attorney General this because I got a call when he introduced the Patriot Act. He said, Joe, I'm introducing the act basically as you wrote it in 1994. It was defeated then, not by any liberals.
So Joe Biden wrote the Patriot Act, and it was defeated in 1994, and they renamed it to the Patriot Act. Wow, that blows me away. So Joe Biden wrote the bill, the act, and then it got changed. The name got changed, and they used it later on in 1999. And then they rolled it out in 2001. I mean, this dude is involved in everything.
Joe Biden has been a puppet for years, just like the Clintons, just like the Bushes, just like all of these politicians. They're puppets to the George Soroses, all of the elites, the 13 elite bloodlines, all of these people, the Rothschilds, all of this stuff is real.
Let me ask you something. Tex. I'm going to play the other side here. Who's the first, and anybody who knows this, raise your hand or just shout it out loud. Who was the first country that, besides Germany, who was the first country that Hitler took over or tried to take over?
Poland?
I think
Poland?
I think it's Poland, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Poland.
I think it's Poland. All right, so it's Poland.
Gonna kill Israel.
So let me ask you something. When Hitler took over Poland, would you have wanted to say we should definitely stay out of this, and we have nothing to do with this?
I mean,
until it's America's problem, we're not wasting lives.
Can I say something? Because,
well, I'm just saying. Would you say that
because the logic that some of the people here have for Russia, saying They don't want to reunite the Soviet Union. Hitler said the same thing about Germany.
Yeah, he wanted to unite Germany. I know. Yep. But here's the other thing about that. Did you think, would you say that Hitler invading Poland and taking over Poland was just the same as the Mexican border?
Oh, absolutely.
Same thing? So Hitler, so the border crisis we have down south where you guys are is the same as Hitler taking over Poland.
Yeah.
I just want to get that on the
I would
record.
not say it's the same thing. Hitler taking Poland was from the top down, whereas what's going on here, it's not Mexico trying to take over Texas. It's individuals coming across, flooding through that Mexico is allowing because they don't want to deal with it.
If you backtrack,
I don't think the two
Texas
are
and Oklahoma and all that, whatever, was Mexico's first. America took that from them.
That was the whole point of Texas Revolution. We fought, died, and we took it. Technically, a good chunk of America was Texas before we joined this whole America thing. So we fought and died for that.
Right. So I guess my point here is you can see the comparisons a little bit. Like, and I know that, and look at the situations, you know, of Russia wanting to unite and, you know, that sort of thing with Poland. It's a little different because because Putin, and maybe somebody knows, but I don't know how many people Putin has killed or how many people recently, but I believe Hitler, you know, did a lot
14,000 soldiers in Ukraine.
How many were in Poland? Do you know? I don't know. But,
actually, I don't have that.
But how many people? But see, how many people did Hitler kill before he invaded Poland? That's another good question. Because right now,
that is a good question.
If it was a lot, well, then you could. Then these are a little bit different situations. You know, although Putin wants to unite Russia, it's a little bit of a different situation. But now, if Hitler hadn't have killed very many Jews or Germans at all at that point before he invaded Poland, then you could be like, ooh, man, is this literally history repeating itself? I mean, we're getting pretty close here, aren't we? You know, is the next thing Putin executes all the people in his country who oppose this? Like, there's thousands of people in the streets protesting in Russia this attack. So will those people
that protest it?
What was that?
He's already arresting people to protest it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I can't even believe that people have the balls in Russia to be in the streets protesting it. That's pretty kind of amazing. I mean,
that's how we do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. I mean, like, you could be killed.
There is no fear in Mother Russia.
Yeah,
but if you take it back even farther, man, like, since like on the whole. First of all, who the fuck let this motherfucker from Austria into fucking Germany? My people running the country.
Rothschild, dude. Rothschild. Hitler was a Rothschild.
You damn right. Let me tell you something. But
Who the fuck let some fucking weirdo from fucking Austria come take hold of Germany and tell them to do all this crazy ass shit, which we have to fucking deal with to this day still. People so fucking Germans, like half of them are fucking still Nazis. Whatever, like, fuck out of here, man.
I think the border issue is a problem, but I think comparing it to this is incorrect. Now, I think the Democrats' hypocrisy about it, I understand. I understand your point about the hypocrisy of the Democrats of it, but I do think that they are different situations. I think controlling a border for immigration, you know, which has become one of the most severe it's ever been, is a different issue and a problem. But I think it's just it's a separate issue, and it leads to murders, drugs, death, unstable country, and so I think it's a problem. But I don't think it's the same as a country going in and, you know, a dictator going into a country and, you know, killing people and trying to take over land for his own thing. I just think it's a different thing, but it is a concern, and I understand that. Yeah, go ahead. What was that, Jesse?
No, that was me.
Oh,
damn!
You sounded like a sexy dildo. Let me tell you. But yeah, I think they're different, and I still don't think. I don't think Putin is the. Even though these parallels are very weirdly coincidental and interesting, you know, wants to unite his country and whatever. I think you are seeing some of the same sort of narcissistic tendencies, like paranoia, narcissism, but also strategy and stuff from Putin that you maybe saw from Hitler. But I don't think Putin. I still don't think Putin. I just can't believe, and I know that Putin is kind of a shithead, but I don't think that. I still can't believe that Putin would be a Hitler. I can't believe that he would want to, that he would begin incinerating his, people that protest and then trying to take over more of the world and acting, seeing him go like that or go that rogue or that wacky. Like, that's hard for me to believe. Even if he is a very tough, KGB, cold bastard.
I don't know if this is true, but didn't Putin put people in jail for being gay or something?
Yeah, I mean,
heard something like that.
No,
So
listen.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No, he didn't put people in jail for being gay. He didn't push this whole
Let's get gay.
Make your kids trans agenda that's being pushed today. That Texas actually, like, it was brought up on the show last night, Joe, or whatever.
I believe
that's what it was.
Yeah,
he's not buying into that, making your kids Frankensteins. That's what it was.
He's not into kids making your kids Frankensteins. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God, Tex. Let's hear what.
You can clip that. Please.
That was hilarious. That was really funny, bro.
Yes.
Oh my God. Here's Putin on.
That is beyond my professional interest.
All right, so this is Vladimir Putin on gays. So for the people. Let's hear what Vladimir Putin says. Now Vladimir Putin will say certain things and then people will say what he really does in his country, and so we could be off here, but let's see what he says about gay people.
You know, I can't answer the part of your question about whether homosexuals are born or made.
Well, you got to give him that. He says he doesn't know. He doesn't know if they're born or they decide to be that way. Now, obviously, people on the left would say, what a scumbag, you should know you're born that way. But people on the right would say, no, you choose. Some people would say you choose to be that way. So, I mean, you got to give him a little bit like that. He's like, I'll just be honest, I don't know. I mean, at least he's saying he doesn't know. He's not saying, oh, fuck that,
That is beyond my professional interest. I'm just not qualified to respond. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that in Russia, unlike in 1/3 of world's countries, being gay is not a crime. In 70 countries, there is criminal liability for homosexuality, and in 7 of those countries, they have the death penalty for homosexuality.
He dies.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't believe you can get married or something in Russia yet. But if
he's gay, he's gay.
If he's gay, he's gay. But it sounds like Putin is, making it clear it's not a crime to be gay. It's not a crime to be gay,
I don't know why I thought that. I must have read it somewhere.
You must have read it on liberallies.com. I'm sorry. Thanks, Dan. I'm kidding. I mean,
you mean the Young Turks?
We have recently.
Oh man, did you see what Cenk said earlier? Oh, I'd love to slap.
I read it on some fucking Facebook post or whatever.
I'd love to choke Cenk Uyghur's fucking dildo off.
Passed a law prohibiting propaganda, and not of homosexuality only, but of homosexuality and child abuse, child sexual abuse. But this is nothing to do with persecuting individuals for their sexual orientation.
He's probably saying this because he's gay. I mean, I always thought that Vladimir got... I mean, I'm serious. I swear to God, he gets down. Dude, nobody rides a horse like that with his shirt off, Danny. Look at him riding the horse.
I can't wait till you ride some sauerkraut. His shirt off and a fucking gun on his right.
Wait, a horse? I thought he was riding a bear.
Well, he probably...
Speaking of somebody with not his shirt on.
Somebody doesn't have a shirt on?
He's not wearing a shirt.
I don't.
Oh, well, that's weird that you told us that, but let's go back.
Not really. Dude, I just came back from the gym. I'm trying to cool off.
Oh, yeah, cool off, man. Hey, what did you do? Watch
out outside, you be cooled off.
Did you work out? Did you work out while watching people getting bombed in their homes, like on CNN?
No, I don't do that. I actually listen to music. Thank you very much.
Thank you, KB.
I don't do that. All right, let's
What's
see
the
what
difference between these two things? So there is no danger for individuals of this non-traditional sexual orientation for planning to come to the games as visitors or participants.
What about the Russian church people who have called for the return of criminal law against homosexual people? Do you support that? Are you horrified by it? What's your attitude?
Значит, у нас церковь по закону отделена от государства.
In law, the church is separate from the state and has the right to its own point of view.
Обращаю ваше внимание также на то, что
I would also like to point out that almost all traditional world religions agree on this topic.
занимают солидарную позицию по этой теме.
Kornikova is hot.
Ooh, he's getting hot, baby. So basically, yeah, so he really seems like he doesn't have an issue with gay people here. I mean, in this interview, at least. I mean, it could be something else we don't know about, but he's, you know, he's like, hey, if the church wants to not like gay people, that's up to the church.
He's
But
50-50.
yeah, it's not, yeah, he's sort of like, I don't see anything hatred about it.
So so from what I got from that, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it seems like
No, he does. He's 50-50.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't really know 100%, but I'm sure he doesn't want to be touched. I'm sure that's, hey, don't touch me, do whatever you want, man. Just don't touch me and don't do it in the street in front of my kids. Seems like what it's like.
Dude, they're leaving a lot of fucking military vehicles behind, dude. It's crazy. And people are just like raiding them and taking parts from it.
Where? Oh, in Ukraine now?
Yeah, in the Ukraine. Yeah, I'm seeing videos of that.
If only we could have gotten all that in
Gargut's
Afghanistan.
in here.
Gargut? Oh, Gargut just lets himself in. He crossed the border for nothing. He doesn't have to. It's nothing. He doesn't have to get into this chat, you know, any other way. His people are used to just come on in. Fuck it.
Hey, Tech, wasn't it your job to keep Garguts out?
Jesus.
You're like, who
No,
the fuck
see,
let Garguts in?
Garguts is one of the good ones, so we can. Garguts is all right. Garguts is one of the.
Man, we talk about right when I walked in here, he gave me a gun and I started talking shit to everybody.
See, I mean, us, you know, white Texans love Mexican food, so we have to keep a few of them to keep it, you know, cooking.
A few of
cleaning,
them.
doing all the
A
things.
few of them.
Only the good ones, though. Only the good.
I gotta be honest. Biden. I mean, Putin looks miserable, like delivering the address of "we're gonna
He
invade."
always looks miserable.
No, but I mean, like in some, yeah, you're right. But in some of those interviews, he kind of looks like he is having a good time. He didn't look like he was having a good time in this. Like, hey, we're gonna go into Ukraine. He's like, oh, fuck.
Dude, can you imagine if he got paid for those interviews? He wouldn't be frowning as much.
Well, I don't think he cares about money. He's like mega rich, isn't he? Probably like or whatever.
Yeah, he's worth like 300 billion or some shit like that.
I don't think he
he
cares.
constipated or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Anybody who's rich, they want more.
Or what, like the fucking country's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, just bring a leak.
Very impoverished ass country, dude.
Like I'm pretty sure. Like, wouldn't it be funny if we all blew each other up and the only person left was North Korea, and then they just ruled the world, and that's how the world changed?
Jesus.
Fucking hilarious. Like,
Could happen.
Well,
it
Dude,
could.
look at those missile launchers, bro.
Yeah, look at that.
That is insane.
I will say, Joe, I don't know if you brought this up on your show earlier or not. I wasn't listening to all of it, but
Thanks,
I bet you
Christianity.
hear a lot less. I
Sorry.
bet you hear a lot less about COVID talk now, don't you think?
Yeah, now
Just like
COVID's
having new
gone.
distractions, so,
Right.
COVID's gone now.
just saying.
It's time to release another fucking variant.
No,
Release
COVID had its
plague.
time.
They
We
tried
don't
that.
need it anymore. Now it's time to go to war.
No,
Wait, Gargut.
the jig is up on that
Don't you mean China's gonna release another variant?
with our lab.
With our lab.
I mean, here's the
Another
thing.
lab leak?
That the jig is up on that because they know the variants are weaker now. Everybody now knows 100%. Like every variant's now weaker. So now people are
No,
like,
they come up with something new. They come up with something new.
yeah, it's gonna have to be a different thing. It's gonna have to be like bird flu or something.
Floors have already said
No,
that it
that's-
is
that's-
in fact a what's it called population control, and COVID's going to
Polio.
get, that's going to be the number one thing that.
Well, that's
be
what,
a digital
don't you think that
virus.
that's what it is? This is part of a series of things. Like, let's get into the tinfoil hat now. Look at this. This is fucking crazy. Look at this.
It's not that much of a tinfoil hat when, dude.
Yeah, so let me
Bill
go.
Gates had like fucking a lot of say for 2 months into the whole COVID thing.
That's a great point.
Fucking eugenicist.
Yeah, so
Of
basically,
course, it's population control.
let me explain why this is like we are running out of like I'm just gonna let me set this up tinfoil hat style, and it may not be like Jesse said, but let's just preface that. Like,
Do it in the Alex Jones.
we are. All right, let me tell you something. Where's the music? Give me some really intense music. Scary news, death, instrumental music. Do we have the Infowars.com music right now we can play on here?
Do you have any AC/DC, Rolling Stones?
Maybe we can get some in here, some really severe.
Alex Jones was right. So y'all say what you want to.
News. Let me see yours.
Can you play Hell's Bells, damn it? Like, I'm kind of retarded.
All right, so basically here's the thing. All right, here we go. I think we got it. News, music, background. This is good. It's gonna be really good. Whoa. So basically, here's the deal. And I don't know, this music sucks. Give me another one. Give me something really good.
Play my fucking music.
This isn't intense enough. I need really good.
He needs the music to tell the crowd how he feels.
All right, so here's the deal. This is good enough. I mean, fuck it. It's good we don't have to go with this. The fact of the matter is this. If you're going to depopulate the world, you're not going to be able to just do it with one thing. So it's little things. First, they're setting it all up too, by the way. First, it's the lockdowns. We get the lockdowns going. How do we trigger lockdowns? How do we get people used to lockdowns, working from home? How do we do that? We do this. We release a pandemic, one that's scary enough that we have to lock everything down. It kills enough people. But then after that, then we move on to starting to have wars and arguments with each other, and then people can go to the wars and get killed, and we can have all these wars going on everywhere. We divide and conquer everybody. We can destabilize just about every country. And when you destabilize some of the biggest populations, it becomes easy to murder everybody. Find out how people are going to react. They're gathering intel. That's what this whole thing was, an experiment to gather intel about how we react to being locked down. So now they know exactly, they know the playbook, right? Now they have when you have a blood count, they call it a base count to figure out where you're at. That's what they're doing. They're trying to test out where everybody's at. They know Australia will lock down completely. So they're dead. Australia's dead. If they were locked down, they just blow them up. They don't give a damn. They roll right over. And they know America's going to be a problem, so we got to figure out. Right now, I believe one of the biggest problems is going to be America. We're going to be the biggest target, folks, because we are the ones. I'm not drill. I'm Alex Jones. Call me Alex Jones. All right, Blackie. You're going to call me Alex Jones. So here's the thing. Bottom line is this: we are the numero uno. Alex Jones was the number one enemy of the state and the deep state and the media and everybody. That's why they shut me down and blocked me everywhere. Now it's Joe Rogan, right? We had about 5 million listeners here on my show, and they were scared of that. And now Joe Rogan's 11 million. He's not going along with the deal. They're going to go after him the same way they went with me. We said it was going to happen. It happened. And it's all got to do with mass information, and they know they got to cut these guys by the balls right now before they get things really rolling. This is all a big test before they get to the real thing.
Yes,
right?
Drill Sergeant.
So, I mean, what's the next thing? Is it going to be weather? They're going to use the ionospheres and the static weather devices and machines to create the oceans higher, to scare everybody, get them killed. And now they either know that we're going to run out of food, that we're running out of resources, that the planet's dying, or that there is global warming, and the global warming is, it's not going to go away, it's going to get worse. So they believe they have to kill 70% or 40% of the population. And if that's the case, that's why all this is happening. And the aliens thing could be part of it too. It could be a big facade. Why'd they come out and tell us, in America especially? And I told you, America's the one that they're mostly worried about. So what do? Tell Americans aliens are real. And the next thing you know, there's an alien invasion. And then they bomb us with their own missiles and their own laser beams and stuff, and they say it's the aliens, and they say we're under full-scale attack on Earth, and the aliens know how to disappear and stuff, and they kill people. And I'm telling you, man, look at what Bill Gates has said about viruses, spike proteins, things that they can put in our food and water and shit. They want us dead, man, and there's a reason. I don't know if it's because the planet really is dying, and they need to get rid of, 2/4 of the population, or if they're just paranoid the planet's gonna die. Listen, this isn't. You think I'm fucking kidding, man? You think this is a goddamn joke? What I'm saying is real.
Sergeant, sir.
I'm real as hell right now, man. See, this is the problem.
Fucking perfect. You said 2/4.
No, I don't.
2, 4, 6, 8.
I mean, it's not that crazy. I mean, think about.
That's gonna be
I just saw a video right
to
now.
listen back to.
I mean,
just saw a video.
You
right
think
now
about
where
it. You drop the pandemic, right? You bring on the wars, then you bring on the wars, then you drop another pandemic, right? Another issue, some kind of virus thing, and then you can start with food supplies shortages in places. We can start having fuel supply shortages, and after we've killed
Don't
off
forget
enough.
about race riots. You know,
What?
gotta have
Whatever.
one of those every once in a while too.
Whatever gets a certain amount of people killed, you know what I mean? And that may be, how many people is that? You know, because the population is up to 7 billion, right? So the goal is probably to get the population down to like 2 to 4 billion, right? Get it down to 2 to 4 billion, and then reset how we live, right? Everything is energy based in a different way. Solar, other energies we don't know about, whatever. There's different ways we're eating, like bugs, like they want us to eat bugs and those type of things. Like we'll be now, but here's the question: why are we depopulating? What is the reason that they want to depopulate? Is it because there is something going on with the planet or our resources?
Yes. Are you kidding me? Are you really asking a question like you really
Smaller
are?
populations easier to control, Joe. It's real simple.
No,
We're tearing this bitch up.
So right. So that's what I'm saying. So there's got to be something that they really do know. They can't be that they're wrong and they're paranoid, so that they're going to depopulate because they're crazy and they believe the planet's changing and we need to stop now. Or it's that there really is something going on with the planet and they did the math, right? Like, let's say you do the math. Hey, in 5 more years, there's going to be 8 billion people on the planet. And at the rate that's going on and the amount of carbon in the atmosphere and everything, the greenhouse effect, everything is going to go away and we're going to lose the planet. We're going to all die. And they've done and if they've done that math to decide with all the fuel, so what you're all saying too is that we all believe in global warming. That's the other thing. We're all saying we believe in that then. But how can you not believe in it then? So then you don't. So they're so all right.
I believe in climate change.
So they want to. Okay, all right. So do you? All right. So but Tex. So I'm asking Tex because he's the one that's not on board here. So, Tex, are we affecting the planet?
Yes, we are affecting the planet. Global. There is change with our planet if you look back through time.
Well,
that's inevitable.
So I'm giving you the motive. What's the motive then? If that's
what I'm saying is, I don't believe in we created carbon emissions that breaks down the ozone layer.
I didn't say I didn't say that. No. Oh.
I know. I'm not saying you did. I'm saying what they say. I'm taking.
Well, okay. Well, like I can put. I mean, okay. So I can put ice on the ceiling, and if I put one person in this room, who's breathing in this room, ice will melt at a different rate if I filled this room up to the maximum with people. And I started driving, and I turned on a bunch of computers. Like the ice is going to melt at a faster rate because we're affecting it. Like so, they're like that's just a dumb little like we do affect things. We have to agree on that at some rate that we do affect something. So my point though is forget that. What then is the reason that the elites would want to depopulate the planet? What are they scared of that they've seen that has made them go, holy shit, if we don't depopulate the planet, we're all dead in 100 years.
The answer to your question is
whistleblowers that know everything.
Well, but I understand, Dan, you're on board with that. You think that somebody's found this out and you agree. I'm asking Tex because Tex doesn't believe that. So I'm asking Tex what
I'm saying is I believe they're trying. What my personal opinion and my personal views are, yes, we affect the change of our globe, but it's not in the destructive ways that they say. Number one, they lie about everything. Why would you trust anything that they have to say? Number two, when it comes to the depopulation thing, it is much easier to control a smaller population, a dumbed down population, a population that can't even decide which bathroom to go to anymore because they have everybody confused and fighting with one another. They want to slim us down. That's why the gay agendas, the transhumanism stuff, all of these things have been pushed. All of these things are tied in together. So the answer to the question that you just asked is not a simple one. It's a much larger, vast answer to that question. That's a whole other conversation.
So they're basically... Go ahead. So I just want to sum up real quick. So they're basically depopulating the planet so that there's less people to rule. That's it. It's that simple.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead,
So
Gustavo.
a smaller population is easier to control. It's real simple. That's the short answer.
Well, there's two things with that. I'm going to go to Joe's point, and I'm going to go to your point, Tex. So, Joe, you talked about like the ice cube effect. Like again, I had friends that actually, for whatever reason, the study of like the Atlantic Arctic as well as like what's going on with the North and South poles.
I just want to say that science is not the same. My example of the ice melting on the roof is not the same as the ice melting in the polar ice. They're two different types of science. I was just using an example of people. My point was people affect things. But
ice melts is because we do not sit.
Well, let me just say, ice is frozen and melted for years before we were ever here.
Right. No, I'm just saying based upon a certain rate, based upon what we had maybe, let's say, 80, 90 years ago in comparison. Yes, of course they melt and also maybe comes back at a given point. But what I'm saying is based upon the idea of what we're seeing in the South Arctic and what we're looking at based upon like the ice capsules, based upon what it was, it is significantly smaller than it was 80, 90 years ago. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, nobody disagrees that the planet's
the polar bear shit, right?
The planet.
Well, it's not
is
just
changing.
about the polar bears; it's the overall planet.
The planet is changing. The argument is how much are we affecting it?
Wobble on an axis. I mean, come on, motherfuckers are all down right now digging fucking holes like 500 fucking.
Wait till
finding plants.
Wait till we find out about.
Because it was warm there once. That's
Yeah.
just the inevitable.
I agree. I agree.
They did predict this all shit, like I said, in 1973 with a computer in Australia, and it legitimately says like around our time, 2021, it's going to be very, very critical.
Right.
From either war or fossil fuels. I did send you the video too.
But going back to the depopulation of the planet and like lowering the rate of how many people
and the population
are on the planet
as well.
The population. So in like I believe it's South Korea or like Southeast Asia in that sector, there's a reason why. No, even in Japan, there's a certain reason why you're only allowed to have certain amount of children within your family because they're trying to control not only the population but also the ways and means of how you balance practically the land that you're on. Dude, if you go to Manhattan, you got 9 million people that live on the island. Bro, the density of that is insane. And you go to a population or an area such as like Japan or Southeast Asia, depending on the surface or how much land you have, again, you also want to control at least that's the outcome, because once that spreads, especially what happened with COVID, especially in the Asian territories, bro, that thing lit up like wildfire. And then, of course, with airplanes, trains, and other automobiles just to get around the world.
Great move.
I mean, again, it's a huge hot box. So, I'm all for the fact that like we need to like be careful of the rate that how many human beings are on the planet.
But Mustafa, are you willing to let any governing human body tell you how many children you or anybody else you know can have? Are you willing to let go of that freedom to save possibly something? Because that's a dangerous tool to hand over.
It is, and I understand where you're going at, and absolutely. But however, though, I also know and I'm only speaking for myself. I'm not trying to generalize anything.
Southern. I also know.
We could solve this if we put a lot of money into the space programs and figured out a new planet to go find.
But that's the thing.
Well, they're already going to Mars. They already found 2 Earths that are in the Goldilocks zone. So
really,
why not?
Well,
but now we're going to be working on speed.
We can't live on Mars. We can't live on Mars.
We already accomplished going up to space. Now we're working on speed of how fast we can get from one place to the other, which, by the way, is going to take like another 50 years just to master. In so many ways.
More Elon Musk, so the more minds that we have, the more Elon Musk that we'll have that are fucking crazy.
I'm just curious. Elon?
Okay, so
no way.
Who's that?
No thanks. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is very now. Here's the thing I've learned interesting about Elon Musk. Recently, Elon Musk said how much he liked Edison over Tesla in many ways, because he was like a big fan of Tesla because he's more like Tesla. I mean, he's more like Edison rather. He said this.
Yeah, stealing everybody's ideas.
Remember that? Yeah, because he's basically uses other people's ideas and he innovates, and he's pretty smart, but he really kind of grabs other people's ideas like Edison did, whereas Tesla invented stuff. Elon Musk doesn't invent things. Elon Musk has other people. He finds the people that do these things.
Funds them.
Or funds them, you're right, and then uses them. So he's more like an Edison, but he's even said that. I like Elon Musk, but there is something whacked out about him, no doubt about it, something a little off. But, he does agree with people like, Joe Rogan. He does agree with most of the things that we say. Typically, a lot of the things he agrees with, he would agree with Tex. So it's interesting. Elon is kind of like the opposite of Bill Gates. He's like the other version of Bill Gates. The same way he tries to influence things, for whatever his own reasons are, the same way. They're just different things. And where Bill Gates was like, and people make a big deal out of what Bill Gates does, and Bill Gates does freak me out because he did talk about depopulating and some of those things, but
GMO.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bill Gates he should be hung immediately.
But I mean,
That's
Jesus
probably
Christ.
the most dangerous man on the planet.
But here's the thing, like a lot of what Bill Gates said, like is stuff that I've theorized about too, like where I've said, what do we do when we have too many people, or what do we do when this happens? But not in an evil way, like I'm gonna go do something, or we should do something, but like let's just logically think about what happens, and let's logically think about what happens if a pandemic happens, and I would talk about that, like say this is gonna happen eventually, but again, so like it's hard for me to say. I used to like Bill Gates a lot because a lot of the stuff he was saying, I was like, yeah, this is really interesting. But he is a weird person, right? And
he fucked up with Windows, so that's all I know.
He fucked up with Windows. Yeah. We're all on a computer because of Bill Gates. I mean, the way that we're on computers is because of Bill Gates.
Even with Mac, yeah, he funded Mac too. So
I mean, if he didn't do what he did, I mean. Same thing with Mac too. Yeah, I mean, like I love all those guys. I'm sorry, like it's hard. It's even hard for me to hate Gates because I grew up such a computer guy. Like Wozniak, Gates, Steve Jobs, and who was the other one? There's one other guy. He owned the Trailblazers.
I think it was
Alden. Steve Alden.
I was gonna say his name was Steve.
Is it Steve Alden? I think it's Steve Alden.
I think so.
So
because they were all Steves.
Man, Steve Alden, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs, and Pete is it Pete Wozniak or Steve Wozniak? Now I can't remember. It's Pete Wozniak.
I think it's Steve.
Steve Wozniak.
Is it Steve Wozniak? What are these? A lot of Steves.
There's 3 Steves.
Jesus Christ.
You ever seen that movie Silicon Valley? They pretty much like do that whole.
No.
Silicon Valley Pirates or something. Pirates of Silicon Valley. Where they basically show how Gates and fucking Steve Jobs used to work together.
Man, those guys are like that shit is amazing. Like it really is. Like and how we've gotten to the point where like Gates is like a sicko weird, and the problem is money, man. Money, control, and wanting to tamper in things. I think that's the problem. I think that Gates is okay, I controlled the computer world. I did all that. I was so powerful. Now I'm gonna try to do something good. Do you know how many times somebody who thought
everybody has an agenda?
Yeah, but also like they don't see themselves as a bad guy. Like they think they're doing something good. You know what I mean? Like you think maybe Gates thinks he's doing something good? Like he's like, well, we'll get if we get the vaccines into this village, and then this will happen, and then the next thing you know, they screwed something up and a bunch of people die, like they did.
Yeah.
And then Gates looks like a psycho, and then he's like, "Oh my God!" It's sort of like he meant to do good, but he didn't. He did bad because
everyone's a hero.
That's why I like James Cameron. That's why I like James Cameron because all he's doing is like, I just want to explore the ocean. Fuck everybody.
Oh, thank you. It's Paul Allen. There you go. Paul
Let me go
Allen.
to the Gulf of Mexico.
Jesus, it's not Steve Allen. It wasn't Pete Allen. It was Paul Allen. Thank you. Break up Google now.
P. Allen.
Nice.
P. Allen. It wasn't another Steve. Thank God. I love those guys. I love their story. Is an amazing story. If you could ever watch Triumph of the Nerds, that documentary, that's a real good one.
Oh, by the way, I was actually curious. I never actually asked Joe this question. What is your opinion on Bill Nye the Science Guy?
He fucking rocks.
Well,
I want your honest opinion about him.
I loved him as a TV personality as a kid, but now he he uses that to pretend like he's a real scientist and he knows everything and he doesn't.
What did he get his doctrines in? Because I know for a fact he at least has 1 PhD.
It's not in science. Or
sodomy.
It's in. It's in something,
Liberal
but it ain't.
Maybe it's in liberal arts.
He's not.
Did somebody Wikipedia him?
Let me put it to you this way:
engineer.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, is also a little bit of a misguided person, but I like him in many ways. but he's a little bit of a pompous dildo, and Bill Nye is below him. Bill Nye's below him. I like Neil deGrasse Tyson better than Bill Nye. Bill Nye's
Come
like
on,
the poor
come on.
man's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Come on, Joe. We all know why you don't like Bill Nye.
Well, I liked Bill Nye as a kid. I like his show. He was a good entertainer.
No, why you putting Neil deGrasse Tyson over Bill Nye?
Why is that? Because I hate whites?
Because he's white.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's not even. No, I just.
He fucking answered
What
before you
one thing I'll say is that it feels like it does feel like Bill Nye can control his emotions a little better than Neil.
Oh wow, this is interesting. So he went to Silby School of Medical and Aerospace Engineering. He got his
Literally just
BS
said
in
that.
medical engineering.
Medical
Literally
engineering.
just said that.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I
But-
think that he's a smart guy. I mean, there's no doubt he's a smart guy, but he's not the spokesperson for the science that he talks about.
No, he's the Pee Wee Herman of the fucking science.
I was just gonna say
Exactly. Yeah, but listen, he's a smart guy. He has a degree and stuff like that, but he's not the end all be all in science. Although he's the science guy. He's an entertainer. He's a guy with a degree who's an entertainer. Who's not, you know what I mean? Like Michio Kaku is more of a scientist. That's the guy I'd look to him before I look to Bill Nye. And I'd look to him before I look to Neil deGrasse Tyson, although I think Neil deGrasse Tyson's pretty good too, but he's got emotion. When you bring stuff up, when science isn't fully settled on some things, Neil gets defensive about stuff. And it's like, bro, it's not 100% settled. You don't have to get so angry. You can be open
Right.
still to certain
I mean,
things.
I'm not going to deny the fact that he's very intelligent, based around like the fact that his adapts for collecting information as it pertains to a certain subject of science. So it's not a matter of that he can't learn; it's just a matter of what is his specialty in.
He's smarter than I am. I mean, by far. I mean, the guy, But again, it's like, just like I wouldn't take Joe Rogan's advice, on, the science of what's going on. He doesn't know. He's just talking about stuff.
He's smart, but he doesn't know everything.
Exactly.
Right. Well, no one does. No one does.
Yeah,
Like,
that's why
there's
we
even an
wouldn't be
experiment on this-
arguing it. We wouldn't be sitting here arguing it if we knew for certain. That's how you know it's not for certain. I think we all agree the planet is changing. We all can agree the planet is changing, but how much we're affecting that is where we're lost on. How much are we affecting it? I think we're affecting it. I'll be honest, I don't know shit, right? I'm just going to throw a number out. I have no idea. I think the planet is doing what the planet would do anyway, but I think we're affecting the planet like I would throw out a number of like 20%. Like we're 20% affecting the planet, speeding up what's going on, whatever. I think it's 20%. I don't know though. I'm throwing out a number.
I think 30 is better.
But what's the difference of that? So if the planet is going to do what the planet does over 100 years and 20%, so we're cutting 100, we're turning 100 into 80. Or are we destroy, or is the planet beyond belief destroyed? Like, are we going to destroy our habitability? Is that what people are saying?
It's a combination. I think it's not just us. I think it's literally the planet doing what it's supposed to be doing in various ways, because ultimately we're going to be in a situation where we're not going to be able to do anything about it once we lose our ozone.
And also, too, the other thing is that the problem is the people trying to control other people because they believe that. And then the people that don't believe we have any effect on the planet. I think both things are dangerous. Like, you have to sort of look at it like, listen, it's not just one person on this giant globe and that's affecting stuff. We're talking about millions and millions of cars, carbon,
of course,
smoke, flatulence of cows, flatulence of humans, nuclear waste. You know what I mean? Everything, our breathing in and out, millions and billions of people, 7 billion people,
and
all around this planet.
denying nuclear waste too. I mean, remember 3 Mile Island? I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that everybody was denying it in the press, and remember at that time there was no internet, so the press was the main source of information. And of course, you had
garbage.
For every reaction, as
Misinformation.
the science says, for every reaction there is an equal opposite reaction, and all systems are breaking down. That's entropy. Everything. Everywhere is breaking down. So if you look at entropy, that everything is breaking down and everything has an opposite reaction or a reaction, there has to be a reaction to us living on this planet in the size that we're doing it. And the bigger we get, it's got to be doing something. It's got to be doing something. And I don't, to the extent of that, whatever. If you're defensive about that because you feel guilty and now you're defensive, or if you're defensive about that because some people want to like tell you can't have kids because of it, I get that. I understand that.
I know.
Yeah, like I'm scared of the people that are overreacting, and I'm scared of the people that are underreacting. Honestly, that's me. I'm in the middle. I'm scared of the people that think nothing's wrong ever and that we aren't affecting shit. Fuck off. Like, that's scary to me. But I'm also scared of the people that are like, yo, we better do something. You need to cut your arm off and stop doing stuff and don't have kids and these other things because otherwise you're affecting the planet. You know, it's like, well, hold on. You know, how about we figure out what's really going on first? 100%. And we know we're affecting the climate, I believe, but we don't know how much and how fast and when. You don't know that. Nobody knows that yet. They keep saying it like, oh, it's in 5 years, it's in 10 years, it's in 50 years, it's in 40 years, we'll be under the water. You don't know. Nobody has made that calculation statement perfect yet at all. Not even close. We don't know. So, like, let's realize that the truth is in the middle somewhere. And if people can do that and keep trying to investigate this and figure out what we're really doing and come up with the numbers.
The truth is in the pudding.
Right. In the next 10 years, hopefully in the next 10 years, they'll come up with something so we can figure this out. Because you're going to need to prove it to 60% of the world that doesn't really care.
Well, again, even when you do prove something, Joe, there's always going to be somebody in a naysayer that's going to say otherwise, to the point where they're going to try to reprove what is already proven. And that's fine. Again, I love the challenge of science or of any argument. But at the end of the day, though, it's
proof must prove.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Just because you could prove something doesn't mean that everybody's going to believe it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I mean, if we can really prove it, like, but here's the
what does that mean?
But okay, so let's use the pandemic as an example. It's really hard, right? Because the pandemic wasn't killing like almost everybody, or even like if the pandemic had killed 40% of us, like 4 out of 10 people are gonna die, we would all be wearing fucking masks. We wouldn't be talking about wearing cloth masks either. We'd be wearing fucking futuristic helmets. Like, we'd be wearing goddamn we'd be wearing hazmat suits. Like the governments of the world would be working on creating one hazmat suit for families, for like, so that someone could go shopping or someone could go to the hospital and things like that, and then we'd be all living from home for like 10 years at least. Like, so it would have been a whole different thing, and you wouldn't have had people fuck that. But you wouldn't have had people disagreeing about it. You would have had people basically being like, "Oh shit." Like, we all agree. We see what's going on. But because the pandemic was like, you know, an angrier flu, like a flu that was worse, but since everyone was getting it for the first time, it was kind of devastating, but it was still only killing like 1% of the population, or whatever it was, 5%, then down to 1% and less. And so because of that, a lot of people said, oh, this is bullshit, it's a lie, or I'm not going to wear the mask, I'm going to wear the mask, I don't know if I'm going to do that, I might get the shot, I might not get the shot. 40% people start dropping dead, you're getting a shot. 4 out of 10 people start dropping dead, and the governments around the world create a vaccine and say we figured out how to stop this, and you got to take a vaccine every 4 months until this thing breaks down. You're taking the vaccine every 4 months. There's not even a question. You're like, fuck yeah, I'll take the risk. We're taking the vaccine. But when it's 1% of people are dying or less, not so easy to convince everybody. So if you can convince everybody, like let's say wildfires start appearing all over the world, or tornadoes all over the world, and things are going unprecedented, wild, crazy for like 5 years, you're going to have the attention of the people of the world for the first time. That's what it's going to take.
But whenever, let's go back to your example of the pandemic. Whenever everybody knows that the CDC, all of the top people that are making decisions, you know, they're manipulating numbers. They come out and say, oh, well, 10,000 new cases today. Well, they come out the next day and say, well, false positives on tests and this and that. And I can even give you a personal example from my own life.
There you go.
My stepfather passed away during the pandemic.
I know.
It was not a COVID death. It was a blood clot that went into his heart, killed the man. Right.
COVID causes blood clots.
He never had the COVID.
Okay.
Never had it.
But this is what I'm saying. People don't verify the information.
They tried to list him as it. He never had it.
I mean, you can have it and not know it. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I saw him the day before he died, and he was laughing and joking like everything was perfectly fine. And it happened out of nowhere. It was a clot that was just, it broke loose and it happened.
Damn, man,
that's life. You know what I mean?
That was death. No, that's scary, dude.
Yeah.
That's like scary. Like, that just So I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to happen to me at some point. But but see, that's my point. Is that whenever you're in a gray area, this is my point. When you're in a gray area, you're going to get people. Jesus Christ. What is that? Oh, it's Rostov. I had to mute him. Whenever you're in a gray area, you have these people taking advantage of it on all sides, right? But that's what I try to tell my friends who are liberal. I try to tell them, why they need to stop making certain things up or like going too extreme about things that aren't there. And I tell them because I say, dude, you don't understand. When you do this, when you lie about stuff or when you sort of bend the truth a little bit for whatever or whatever, you make Republican people and people that think kind of opposite of you, you make them go the other way. If you instead begged people to please like come together about the information and to think about it, and please like let's talk about this and have a discussion about it, and let's look at the science and let's all do it and whatever, and we're all in it together. You might get more people to listen. Or if you said we're kind of worried about this, but when you get people who are just jumping out right now, like we need to shut down this and you need to do that we're going to tell you how everything's going to go. Oh, show me the science of this. Oh, we all know it's happening. It's going to, in 10 years, it's going to happen. It's Al Gore. In 5 years, it's going to flood everywhere. In 15 years, and you do the boy who cries wolf. Nobody believes you. And so that's a problem for, and
it also doesn't help things. Go back to the first year of the pandemic. You had all of the race riots, Black Lives Matter, rioting, crowds that were. You never heard once anybody saying, hey, we shouldn't be here doing this because of COVID. But what were they attacking? They said, you can't go to Walmart. You can't go to church. You can't do this because you're a threat if you go there. Right. But all of these other people that are on the other side of a political agenda, they never once got criticized for it. Never once. So we're picking and choosing who we attack here. The hypocrisy is what keeps us separate, keeps us divided, and keeps everybody pissed off so we don't look at what the real problem is. Because it's not left and right. It's what's on top of us.
Aliens.
I'll get on top of you. I'll get all the way on top of you.
Canadians?
Oh,
I
poor Canadians.
don't think Canadians are the issue. I think Canadians just want to be left alone.
Well, our trucker convoy, one person showed up. They had like 500.
Looks like my little lass needs a shaving.
Kamala.
Pico here. Insane in the Ukraine. Insane in the brain.
Oh my
John
God.
Rambo has record for most kid kills. Maybe Cody can win the war by reforming the superpowers with face Nikita Koloff. Didn't see kid blown up. Worse than overpass guy Swan.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was not. It was like very clear, and pieces and chunks and a bicycle. And I went, I want to die for seeing this.
Dude, is Rocky 6 gonna come out?
Dude, I can't. I'm not good with this stuff.
Dono names.
His dono name is Kamala and Queef or something.
Commander in Chief.
Oh, Commander in Queef. Here's Alex Oli.
Super chat party.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
Alex Oli.
Donald Trump commented on it, paraphrasing, Putin saw the embarrassment in Afghanistan and capitalized on the situation under Joe Biden and Ukraine.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I think he looked at Afghanistan and was like, wow, this guy's retarded. All right, I'm going to take Ukraine now because he's not going to fight me. He can't afford to fight me. All right, I'll just go do this. That's exactly what I thought. Putin was like, oh, because Putin doesn't want to nuke anybody. He doesn't want to be nuked. He doesn't want to nuke. He doesn't even want to go to a full-scale war. So he was like, oh, shit, all they're going to do is cyber attack me and stuff? I'm going to go get Ukraine. That's it.
So his Russian soldiers blew up.
Super chat party.
Kenzie Combs.
Oh yeah.
If Trump was president, the media would have found a way to side with Russia and blame it all on Trump.
Well, that's true. Well, some of them are still blaming Trump now. They said, oh, Trump weakened our thing. That's why this was able to happen. Go look it up. There's tons of them. Blue check marks saying, oh, Trump, weakened NATO. Trump weakened NATO so this could happen. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, did you watch what Biden did in Afghanistan? I mean, listen, I'm not saying, but like, you're really reaching back to Trump at this point? Like, what the hell? Like,
Super chat party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need help, Joe Cheek. Twitter DM Plaza.
Please.
Plaza.
Oh, James Mesner, thank you. Actually, wow, that was an old dono because I shared his GoFundMe earlier, actually, to be honest. Holy shit, that's so weird. That was a while ago.
Like an hour and a half.
And a couple of you guys donated, so shout out to you guys who donated.
Have you seen the videos of the Russians that were taking off their fucking clothes and leaving them, abandoning them?
Yeah, I saw some of the Russians actually gave up because they didn't want to kill any, they didn't want to go there and kill anybody.
Yeah.
Super chat party.
You know why I say this too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's up, James?
They don't want to get
Lol, I love you, JCS crew.
Well, there he is. Now he's donated $2 to me, even though he needs donations himself for his wheelchair van. So now somebody donate to him. Yeah, I said that some of the Russian soldiers were actually giving up, or like, you know, they
don't want to die.
They didn't want to die, but they also didn't want to kill anybody. They were like, oh fuck, like we don't want to kill anybody, so they just kind of went, ooh. So I don't know what's gonna happen to them, but I saw several stories of that. Like they thought they were coming in to do a couple little things, and that next thing you know, they're like, oh, we're killing people. Like this is
Do a little basketball dance off the concrete.
And maybe they said that. I mean, maybe they lied. I don't know.
They're devil worshippers.
What up, JD Venom?
Take a big bite out of your face.
JD Venom, you sexy.
Russia on here thinking they are playing Risk for real. Someone tell Putin to chill out. He's killing children for no reason.
Well, to him is some kind of reason, but yeah, it's pretty sick that that's happened. JD Venom, thank you for the $10, man. He was having a blast on Call of Duty yesterday. Yeah, I keep thinking of the war game on Facebook. Whenever you see that, when you see the bombs and nukes, and they're like Russia's invaded, and you're like, wait, what's going on? Oh, it's a game. Ah, that's funny.
Yeah, it's AMA 3.
Yeah,
That's
doesn't
funny.
it always make you think like it's real, and then you're like, oh, but now it is real, kind of is real.
Well, people are posting that all day today, and I go, you realize this is a video game? Like,
Man,
this isn't real.
Mustafa fucking hung up. Mustafa got put on mute for 2 seconds. He
Looks
was like, I'm
like
out.
my little lass needs a shave.
Deb A's picnic blankets.
Hey, what up? I think this news world political discussion is interesting and complicated, and to be honest, Trump don't have a clue what he would have done if he were in office. In his recent interviews about this, he just whines about so-called rigged election.
I've noticed that too. Have you noticed that every time they bring this up to Trump spins it back to the election was rigged? Like if you're like, so what do you think about Putin and what could be happening and everything? And Trump will be like, I just think it's very, very bad, and I think this is whatever. But you know, it's not surprising with everything, especially with the rigged election. Like, and he goes back every time he goes back to that. It's very funny. That's not like that's
Do a
serious.
little
He really does do
basketball
that.
dance off the concrete.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm just so sick of you little meth head devil worshippers.
God damn it.
I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
Go ahead and take a bite out of my dick.
Did you hear about the ghost of Kiev? Shot down 6 Russian fighters today. First fighter race of the century.
Dude, I saw these planes coming down, but I didn't understand this whole ghost thing.
Same here. I was like, what is it? So is he dead?
Yeah, I don't know, but I've seen Russian planes come
Yeah.
down.
I mean, if they call on a ghost, maybe he's so fast or he's like invisible to them, they can't see him.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That guy was pretty fast. I did see the videos of that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Can
But
I
I
ask
just
you an
think-
unrelated topic, Joe, real quick?
You want to masturbate on a topic?
No, I want to ask you about an unrelated topic.
Oh boy.
Looks like my little
Oh
lass
shit,
needs
D-Welsh,
a shave.
$30.
Evening Joe. Extend the clock. Did you see Eddie Kingston's tweet from a short bit ago? He's referencing CESARO. A little bit funny tweet from Eddie. This Ukraine-Russia situation is insane.
Yeah, it is, man. Hey, thank you, D-Welsh. I actually pulled the clock gimmick off tonight. I'm sorry, I did pull it off. I am going to add that on Friday night, though. I'm going to add a beat the clock. Friday night. So Friday night we'll do Beat the Clock. I took it off because I did find out that I have an early morning tomorrow. I didn't think I did, but now I do. So we will add some time tomorrow, and I'll give you credit for that, man. And by the way, I will have a $30 donation tomorrow as well because people keep doing $30.
Motherfucker, here we go. Everyone knows I'm out the window. Yep.
And we've already gone past the clock anyway. 25 minutes has turned into 2 hours and 40 minutes. Damn.
Take this dance and leave me here.
Motherfucker.
Ain't got no fear. What the time? What's the time, motherfucker? Time, motherfucker.
Yeah, you put it in a happy rhyme, motherfucker.
Good looking man. I said clock. Bang, bang, tick tock. Fucking suck. Oil shock. 2 on consignment, 1 in stock. What's the time, motherfucker? Said clock. I said clock.
What about shock and awe? Start Iraq War in 02 on live TV. The Nat Geo reporter was on a building with 200 cruise missiles dropping behind him in Baghdad. Actually on YouTube. So far this doesn't compare.
I agree, Craig Dubs.
Exactly. I was about to... Dude, that's crazy.
Well, because, like, you see a lot of people say, like, nothing like this has ever happened. It's like, this has been happening forever. This is just the first time social media is
Syria. No, in
cereal?
Syria and...
What up, Joe?
Oh my God! I thought you said you cereal. I was gonna.
Are you cereal?
What up,
no,
baby?
in Syria. Dude,
Want some of this?
It's been happening. I think this is just the most one that's been
Are we talking
documented.
about World War III probably happening and shit?
Wow, text cult is growing.
Yep. Hell yeah.
We're here, baby.
Yeah, we're only 3 hours into it, but oh, wait a minute.
I barely knew that you guys were in here because I kept getting notifications on Discord. I'm like, might as well screw it and get on.
Oh, you better screw it. No,
Hey, Joe.
Dan, what were you gonna say, man? Dan, you were like, I'm gonna change the subject or something.
Well, I wanted to ask you because I don't know how true it is. You know, did CESARO not re-sign with WWE, or did he get released or something?
Yeah, CESARO decided not to re-sign, so he didn't get released. His contract was up, and he just said, "All right, I'm out."
No, because I saw that all over Facebook today, and I didn't know how true it was. You know.
Yeah, I think it was his. I believe it was his choice not to re-sign. I think he probably could have re-signed for something.
They couldn't come.
That
up
guy
to
won one singles title his whole WWE career. That's horseshit.
That's crazy.
Does he have a non-compete?
No, his thing expired, so he's free agent to go wherever.
He can go anywhere.
Right
I
now.
think.
Yeah.
Yep. Seth Rollins.
Unless he doesn't re-sign and then they wait for the 90-day, but it expired and they couldn't come up with a number to keep him there. So,
So there is no non-compete clause because the deal just expired. So yeah, he can go anywhere tomorrow.
So next Wednesday we could see Claudio on AEW or whatever.
You could see him on Friday probably.
Well, no, okay, yeah, if it's live, you're right. I didn't think about that. You're right. If it's live, you could see him.
But
so
they might save him for Revolution. It's only 2 weeks away.
I mean, even again, like these people jumping over there.
Too many people.
CESARO has the personality of a foot. I mean, do you want
Does he
another?
have a personality of a fighter? Or had WWE not let him actually?
No, they just trust me. WWE WWE at first didn't do the right shit with him, but no doubt about it, they could have helped him. They could have done better stuff with him, but they did give him a bunch of opportunities to talk, and he was just kind of like, sort of like, it was like, yeah, this guy just can't talk, really. I mean, he's great in the ring, though. That's not on WWE.
Really great in the ring. So he just needs a talker. He needs another Zeb Coulter. Maybe.
Well, they put Heyman with him for a bit. That didn't work.
Yeah,
he could team up with Eddie Kingston, because I just heard that he tweeted
Eddie
about him.
Kingston hates him. Eddie Kingston hates him. You don't know that?
This is what I'm saying. They could have a fucking good match.
Eddie Kingston is going to eat him out.
Eddie Kingston doesn't hate a menu.
Eddie Kingston wants to live with his mom forever. How about that?
Mom, should I go to WD? No, you know what they're gonna do.
Mama, do you think to try and break my balls? Sorry.
That's a great song.
That was weird.
Hey, Rikishi's coming to Natick.
So I
Rikishi.
guess AEW and all of their fans have just given up on supporting homegrown talent like they used to bitch about. Now they just wait for the next WWE guy to get fired or quit.
I honestly
to
think
basically save their ratings.
that's become
Like that's the thing now.
Yep, that's. I think that Tony Khan has. I think Tony Khan has created that atmosphere. I think Tony Khan has created an atmosphere.
I
honestly don't
so
mind
much for
them
homegrown
bouncing
talent, guys. You know,
It was all a plan by
New
Vin.
TNA. It's a new TNA. Maybe Tony Khan will finally notice you and give you a commentating job after on his way out.
Think about it like this. Think about it like this. He's not WWE talent. He was an indie fucking legend, and then WWE did this shit to him. He was fucking great.
That could
in
be
the
said.
indies.
That could be the same thing said about half of AEW
We're
roster.
every
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
So he's an
AEW will be
Indian.
impacted within 3 years. They'll be on
He's
some no-name network and nobody watches. So,
Hell nah. Hell nah. They got enough money.
I still think they should just go to MTV.
What?
Oh my god. But actually, Rob Dyrdek runs MTV now, so
Dude,
you
I
have to fucking go in between 24 hours of ridiculousness or fucking fantasy warehouse.
Dude, what are MTV probably doesn't
12
even
and pregnant.
MTV doesn't have good ratings anymore.
Mm-hmm.
MTV.
Exactly. That's why you bring in. That's why
The
you
new
bring in the
MTV.
second hottest wrestling company to MTV.
The new
Well,
MTV is legitimately TikTok and Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, right now,
Instagram.
they average 900,000 viewers now on the shows.
That's why Rob Dyrdek owns 61% of that fucking company now.
I mean, dude, you talk about entropy. You talk about all systems breaking down. Think about it when MTV first came out. Think about where they were. Even the TRL days. I mean, there was like 20 million or 10 million people or something watching that channel.
You know what? I thought about it for a second. You're right. They should bring back Wrestling Society X.
You know what?
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I mean,
he was on there.
What they need to do is get on like NBC on a Saturday morning.
That's what NXT
something like
is.
that.
Well, NBC on Saturday morning would be like you're taking over the cartoons. Oh wait, do they still do cartoons in the morning?
No, they don't do cartoons in the morning anymore, and that fucking sucks.
No. I think about CW. CW is the one where they do cartoons. So follow it with the cartoons. Follow the CW cartoons in the morning.
CW doesn't do cartoons anymore. What are you talking
Oh
about?
my God! Finally,
Are you fucking kidding me, Dan Kenny? They've been doing it for 6 years. They
Really?
redid
Because
it.
I turned on channel 10 and there was no fucking cartoons on.
Well, damn
in
it.
the morning.
Well, I'm sorry that I watch It's fucking at 6 in the morning to 10 in the fucking morning. That's why.
Yeah, they don't got your WB no more, Garga. Where the fuck you been?
No, kids
What kind
CW.
of crack are you
fool.
on?
God damn! Do I have to fucking look this up for you? They Saturday night cartoons or Saturday morning cartoons came back
When?
in 2015.
Bullshit, really?
Yes, and I fucking started watching fucking the new RoboCop, and it's fucking dope over there. But
that was wicked.
What channel?
I think I just
This
said.
is riveting.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about it
More
later.
content than you contribute.
It's more intense than fucking Jesse's goddamn cat post.
His hat.
Yeah.
Hey, listen here, Garga. That cat post is riveting.
Run to the hills. Jason's got his
By the
Iron
way,
Maiden shirt on.
Iron Maiden's fucking beer, very good.
By the way, guys, I have an uplifting story. Thank God. I mean, all this has just been terrible. So let's talk about
Fear of the cat.
Bunnies.
a London man admitted to the court of killing his grandmother and raping her dead body. He pled
Huh.
not guilty to murder, but admitted to manslaughter and sexually penetrating a corpse.
That's illegal?
The fuck?
Oh my
Look at this
God.
one. He fucked her to death.
No, after death.
What type of fucking necrophilia shit is that?
Now I want you to think about what Biden said. I want you to think about what Biden said, which was kind of retarded the other day. But now think about what he said. Now think about what Putin says here. Whoever tries to hinder us, even more so to create threats to our country, to our people, should know that Russia's response will be immediate and it will lead to you to such consequences that you have never encountered in your history. Now, if Trump had said stuff like this, like, he wouldn't have done this, I bet. We are ready for
America should be saying shit like this. Maybe people wouldn't fuck with us then.
We are ready for any development of events. All the necessary decisions have been made in this regard. Look at that dead stare right there.
Diplomatic immunity.
Oh, it's a stare. I thought he was
That's
fucking having an infarction or something.
I mean, think about how I've been watching a lot of Putin videos, and I've seen Putin like sort of smile, be silly with Obama, be silly with Trump and Obama, Biden, be silly with lots of different people. Talk about America. Americans are funny, this is funny and that. But man, he looks psycho right here.
Yeah,
Watch
dude,
this.
there's a trend going called putting it to
Listen
the
to
man.
this. Like what happened?
Все необходимые в этой связи решения приняты.
Like that, he looks like he's on a different plane right there than the guy we
You
saw.
will lose.
I will
Back
take
to the old KGB days.
I'll take Putin over Joe Biden every day of the week and twice on Sunday as my leader. He's a man who has balls and is not afraid to lead.
I mean,
Joe Biden's a puppet.
I mean, sadly, you might be right. Sadly, I mean, Joe's a fucking idiot.
I will
mean,
take.
I don't know
just
if I'd
said that
take
shit
it.
on recording, and I'm proud to say.
So
Fuck
you're
Joe
you're a
Biden.
treasonous
Putin's better.
traitor, Tex.
Let's go, Brandon.
I'm not
Hey,
even
are you
American.
really-
I'm
are you-
Texan.
are you-
None of that.
really
Oh
No,
man, wait a minute, wait a second. What
It's
is
not the
wrong with
first
you
time he
fucking people
had-
out there?
had type
I'm
it
not
tried to
even
succeed
American.
from
I'm Texan.
America.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
American.
right.
I'm Texan. What are you talking about?
Joe, are you really
Have
surprised?
you seen this
This is the
country?
first time.
Are you really proud to live here anymore, Joe?
Yeah, but aren't you like? Shouldn't you be like? I don't know, man. It just seems weird. That's like an Antifa type of thing. Like, we're not fuck America. We're Antifa.
No,
No,
I'm not looking to burn anything down from anybody.
Well, but you.
I just hold myself to a better standard.
Listen,
than
I
the rest
agree
of
with
this
you. I don't
country.
like. I think Biden's a goddamn idiot.
So-
But I mean, Biden's an idiot. But it's like, I mean, if someone I feel like if Trump was president, wouldn't you say to people like, "Hey, he's your president, though. You gotta like whatever, wouldn't you say that?
No, see, no, I equally call Trump out every time he pulled his bullshit just as much. Once again, the podcast that I did, I called all this shit out and I was ripped out for. So I'm not some blind, red-looking, Republican over here. I don't buy into that nonsense. I call them all out for what they are. They're all full of shit and they all need to be took down. All government is bad, pure and simple.
So you're a separatist.
So,
Pretty much.
100%. Yeah,
That's what we
100%.
are.
Okay. So,
100%.
well, so you want, so you would like Texas to secede from the Union?
Yes, please.
Okay. I just didn't know that. Now I know.
Mm-hmm.
Middles
Wait,
and separatists.
wait,
Join
kind of the
Florida.
Wait, if Texas succeeds from the Union again, does that mean
Secedes.
Gargant has to
Secedes.
jump the border again?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then Texas might just start offing people.
Yeah, nah, we keep what we fucking
No.
own.
That's
Gargant's
hilarious.
is good people. I may fuck with him on here, but he's good people. So
God damn it!
it's all good.
They're gonna take us.
No, hold on. I don't jump any borders anymore. I just walk right through them.
He doesn't have to.
I'm like a
He's already
cockroach.
here. You don't have to jump him anymore. What are you talking about? So it's all good.
That is wild.
But if you guys become a new president, Gargant would have to jump the border again.
I am the
That's what-
Senate. That's Tex. I mean, Biden said some retard things today, though. I will say, like, he is.
Separatists will
I can't believe it.
suffer.
I can't
Pretty
believe
sure
This
Biden could
country-
out retard me.
Oh my
This
god, bro.
country's a joke.
We are kind of
The,
right now.
the longer it goes, the worse it gets. The whole thing needs to be took down. I vote purge.
Whoa.
Let's just burn it all down and redo it.
No,
That's my
no.
So-
Well, you're on a list
Let's
for
go
that.
about the civilized. Let's
So
go.
he wants-
Let's go civilized about the Mortal Kombat.
So
Up, down?
Texas for the big purge or the big reset.
You don't want to join NATO?
I'm saying we do
Yeah,
Mortal
I think
Kombat
Gargant
versus
just
Mortal
said he
Kombat.
almost said the big rape.
NATO.
I fucking heard that, Gargant.
Would you guys like to join NATO?
Diversity
Is our strength.
I ain't joining no.
Nous parlons une multitude de langues.
Nous possédons des talents
A
différents.
Scientology commercial?
Our own unique personalities.
It's not a Scientology commercial because Tom Cruise isn't in it.
It's a NATO commercial.
We come from all over the world. From every.
I'd still fuck Leah Remini, though. I don't give a shit.
No two of us.
Are the same.
We work together.
Together.
Respect our needs.
We're gonna die together.
Embrace our differences.
Because we all have one thing in
Oh,
common.
what in the fucking 80s porn music is going on?
Well, why do they all look like they have a gun to their back if they don't do this correctly?
It's good music.
NWA.
Like, this is like 80s porn music,
Now
and it's
Gordon's
also
story.
like theme music for a game menu, like on a fucking video game. Jesus.
What does NATO stand for?
It's stands for
National Ass
NATO
to
010.
Oral.
Now, I'm just going to say that that was full cringe. Like, I want to think, like, I want to say that this is like, I don't even know, man. There's just something weird about that. I mean, it's like a company, like a corporate company that you're embarrassed you work at. I don't know.
O10.
Did you notice how they all looked like they had a gun to their back if they didn't do it?
Yeah, like they were talking.
They were like, they're gonna feed my family.
We'll cut your kid's life
It's like-
support off if you stray from these words.
It's
words.
like, I support this.
Oh, let's hear Biden.
You're like,
Will face
I
consequences
support
greater
this.
than any you have faced in history. Is he threatening a nuclear strike?
Oof.
I have
threatening
no
me?
idea what he's threatening. I know what he has done, number one.
So
And number two,
Very good. We all know.
no one expected the
I
sanctions
don't even know what you've
to
done in the last 2
prevent
days,
anything
dildo.
from happening.
Oh, this is where Biden says that we didn't
probably
expect.
a 13-year-old girl.
This is where Biden says that we did not expect the sanctions to do anything, but earlier Kamala Harris said the sanctions will do something. Like you can't make this shit up.
You can't wait for pudding time.
Do you
It
think
has
Joe
to show,
Biden
this is going
doesn't
to take
like Putin
time,
because he
and we have to
emailed a
show
girl that
resolve, so
Biden
he
wanted
knows
to
what's
stop him?
coming, and so the people of Russia know what he's brought on them. That's what this is
smell
all
you.
about. This is going to take time. It's not going to occur.
What has he
He's
brought
gonna
on?
say, "Oh my
They've already
God, the
invaded,
sanctions
you
are coming,
fucking
I'm gonna
idiot."
Stand down. He's going to test the resolve of the
He's
West
just
to see if we stay
a breathing
together,
pile of
and we
mashed
will.
potatoes.
We're
That's all he is.
they're testing our resolve. Why does he think we're
Oh,
testing
come on,
his
don't
resolve?
compare him to mashed potatoes. He's more like
Why
He's
does
like instant mashed potatoes.
he's
more
more
like
like oatmeal than mashed potatoes.
Why does Biden
Okay.
think that we're testing their resolve? Like I'm confused. Like they're invading the country.
He doesn't. He doesn't really believe any of the things he's saying.
He's just saying things.
Jack Frost.
Because he's a marionette puppet.
So here's
is-
here's Harris. Harris says the purpose of the sanctions has always been and continues to be deterrence. And then Biden says no one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening. Okay. So what's the point of them? They're
She said,
fucking
"Don't come."
They look cool.
They look pretty cool. You know what
Don't
they
come.
are? You know what they are? You
Don't
don't want to do anything.
About the gun.
You don't want to do anything, but you can't just do nothing. So you do something that doesn't do anything. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, just yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
He's thinking right now, I
Confusingly said,
love
but
Jello.
perfect. You're right.
it's almost like if someone broke in the house, started raping your wife, and you instead of like trying to stop them, you just left, and you're like, I'm gonna call the cops now. I think. So in my
Yeah,
car.
or like you're jerking off to it, it doesn't even bother you, and then it's like, well, I
Yeah.
might as well call the cops.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in the car outside, and I'm gonna yell to stop from the car, and then I'll call.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm
Big
gonna
bowl of
honk at
lime
him, dude.
Jello.
That'll get him.
It's kind of like when William Shatner calls 911 and he goes, "Hey, my wife's in the pool. Well, go get her out of the pool. Oh, I can't. She's in the deep end. Hey, Joe Biden, Ukraine's under attack. We should do something.
TJ Hooker.
The Ukraine's under attack. Do something, Joe. Oh, well, we'll put the sanction things on them. Oh, and then we'll say
Right on.
we're gonna test our resolve. Their resolve. What do you mean? They're blowing up the fucking country. They're there right now. What are you talking about? Test their resolve. They don't
He
care.
looks like a Q-tip in a
Do
suit.
you really want him to step in, though? Do you really want him
What
to
the
step
fuck?
in?
What
No.
the fuck are sanctions to
The
begin with?
motherfucker's gonna forget that we're at war 15 minutes into it.
He's probably got a diaper on.
We
guy's got
will and
Alzheimer's.
will impose significant costs on him.
Oh no. I'm sure he's scared. He's got China to take care of, get stealing money for him by.
He's like them Chinese knees.
He's got CTE.
And what interactions have you had with the Russian government?
I heard
roll into a larger conflict.
I'm trying to find the one where he the Fox reporter asked him something. Oh, is this it? Maybe this is it.
What's the risk that we are watching the beginning of another Cold War, and is there now a complete rupture in U.S. and Russian relations?
What's this?
there is a complete rupture right now in U.S.-Russian relations if they continue on this path.
my
that they're on.
underwear.
And in terms of a Cold War, that depends. You have the vast majority of the rest of the world in total opposition to what he's doing, from Asia to South America to Europe to
Yeah, no one's stopping him.
around the world. And
Maybe
so
he gets tucked
it's
in
gonna
about
be a
14.
cold day
Never,
for
never
Russia
land everywhere.
Listen to this line. Here it is.
around the world. And so it's going to be a cold day for Russia.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, it's gonna be a Russian day for Russia. Okay.
It's gonna be a
Hot day in
cold day.
hell, Joe.
It's gonna be a cold day.
Warm day in Arizona.
It's gonna be a warm day in
So,
Florida.
my mom used to tell me the stove gets hot, and I touched it. Like, what the fuck?
Play
If you don't
fucking
vote for me, you ran
white
black.
wedding. It's gonna be a nice day for a white wedding.
It's gonna be a
It's
cold
gonna
day
be
in
a cold
Russia.
day.
He stuck his dick
Yeah.
in a light socket or two.
Hey, you know what, Joe? Well, it's going to be a cold day in Russia, like every day in Russia. It's going to be a bloody day in the Ukraine. It's a little different.
That's so funny.
It's going to be a fucking bloody death
It's gonna
day.
be a snowy day in Alaska.
Oh, they can't do blended, Sunday Bloody Sunday. It's already been
Okay.
taken, so now they got to do it on a Monday or
Yeah.
something.
It's going to be a cold day in Russia.
The idea
Dude,
is you don't see a whole
to
lot of
Billy
people.
Idol's.
Right before, do you think it's possible, like right before he did this speech, Joe Biden watched like WWE promos from 20 years ago and just picked lines from it? That sounds like that's something.
No, I don't think that. I'll tell you what he. No, I'll tell you what he watched. You want to know what he watched? I'll tell you what he watched. He watched the fucking weather report. That's what he watched. He watched the fucking weather report. And he was like, "It's gonna be a cold day in Russia."
Who wouldn't watch those fucking Russian girls' fucking weather report? God
Yeah.
damn.
They were like, "It's going to
Is it
be
cold day
a
there?
cold day in
who would
Russia today."
Who wouldn't Joe Biden win it because they weren't 13?
Nipples get hard on a cold day.
I hope his wife rapes him tonight.
The next question
But I
is,
could meet their
did
children.
you underestimate Putin, and would you still describe him the way that you did in the summer as a worthy adversary?
At the time, he was, I made it clear, as an adversary, and I said he was worthy. I didn't underestimate him. And I've read most of everything he's written. Did you read the, I shouldn't, I'm not being a wise guy. You heard the speech he made, almost an hour's worth of speeches, why he was going into Ukraine. He has much larger ambitions in Ukraine. He wants to, in fact, reestablish the former Soviet Union. That's what this is about.
Kirk
And I think
Douglas right
that
before the stroke.
his ambitions
Amen.
are completely
Simpsons predicted it.
contrary
He almost fell asleep right there.
to the place where the rest of the world
Yeah.
has arrived.
The Xanax is kicking it.
Right there, he's doing it again. See how long he closes his eyes for? Look at this.
Oh,
He
that's
just
some shit in
farted.
his pants.
What
You
is
can almost see the puppet string.
what is that?
Well, they're feeding him lines and shit and trying to make sure he doesn't fuck
They're
everything
feeding
up,
him
I'm
to
sure.
a tube.
That is
I wonder
weird.
which Joe
Well,
Biden
place
club
where the
this
rest of the
is. If
world
it's
has
number
arrived.
15 or 16 by now, because they keep
He's got-
dying. Look at him.
He's got Monica Lewinsky sucking his dick at that same moment.
I think it's my thing.
You're confident that these devastating sanctions are going to be as devastating as Russian missiles and bullets and tanks.
Yes,
What?
Oh my god. I'm gonna die.
To
God,
be
that
as
took a minute, didn't
devastating
it?
as
80,
Russian
good
80
lord.
years old.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever
yes.
seen.
sanctions are going to be as devastating as Russian missiles and bullets and tanks.
yes. Russian bullets, missiles, and tanks in Ukraine.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did he say just then? He goes, wait
Yes,
a
I
minute.
am.
Let me just so So you think that these?
Do you not like green eggs and ham?
No, I do not want
Oh
green
my
eggs and
God.
ham, I am.
For the first.
I will not eat them.
Wow.
With you.
To Dr. Umar Johnson. This was donated 2 hours ago. I'm sorry.
This fucking met Ukraine today. Parachutes.
They're gonna blow up fucking Japan and it's gonna be raining again on everybody. Watch this. It's gonna be fucked up.
Oh my God, that Kennedy setup.
Damn, y'all.
San Antonio Ducks.
Jesse Coon Peterson is just that, he is cooning for the white man. He is what we call in the black community Uncle Tom.
Oh
He has
my
a
God.
white wife. He loves Donald Trump. Don't associate with black people outside his family. Those honkies don't love you, Coon.
Jesus. Wow. Going at Jesus. That was Dr. Umar Johnson going after Jesse. I don't remember the guy's name now. Jesse something? Not that Jesse, but another
Jesse
Jesse.
Peterson.
Jesse something Peterson,
If
something like
only
that.
his mother
Jesse
would
and
have
the
had that.
Rippers.
Looks like my
Jesus.
little ass needs
Good
a
Lord.
shaving.
Jesse
Hopefully
Bob
everyone
Saget.
in Ukraine gets slaughtered one by one.
Oh,
Lol.
I love toes. Just, I mean, that's sick, bro.
Hey.
That's
It could
weird.
happen.
It's a weird thing to say. It could happen, though. It's a weird, sick thing to say, but, you know, hey, I get it. You're
Well,
crazy.
I mean, put it this way, they're not going to slaughter everyone until they use all of our energy up. That's what this whole COVID thing, all of it's
I don't think he
doing,
wants
is
to slaughter
they
everything.
ramp you up.
I think he just wants to
Yeah.
take over the country. If you want to assimilate, go ahead. That's about it. Oh boy, I love toes.
that
Thank you,
band
man.
story.
I'm glad. Listen, I don't want to go to war, and I'm glad we're not going to. I hope we don't go to war and stuff. I don't want to do that. But I'm just saying, Biden's reasoning is hilarious. Like, he doesn't know what he's saying. Like, that's my point. I hope he doesn't go to war.
Super chat
I
party.
missed the 90s when everything felt okay, but we all knew we were being fucked. Now they can't even keep it straight.
Joe, I think
You
it's
know?
a distraction from the Great Reset.
Yeah, but I mean, even though it might be some kind of distraction, I mean, they're the ones that told us about the Great Reset. They said we're gonna do some reset. They said it. Like, they don't need to distract
Look up
us.
Agenda 2030
That's the.
if y'all want to learn about what's going on.
They're just dumb. Chris Dominguez, thank you. You could be right though.
There's a lot.
But that's if we go back to our arguments earlier about depopulating the planet and why they'd want to do that. I mean, that goes back to all that.
Well, like I said, first they're going to use up every drop of energy everyone has.
Yep.
And then you get rid of the ones that are pretty much useless by that point. They're not going to be useful
But
to
then you'll be begging for whatever they want to bring out to give you energy.
Like you
Joe,
and me, Jesse.
somehow I got your work email says take day off.
Oh, I'll take the day off tomorrow. KB, thank you. Well, no, the problem is
cool.
I have an early sort of like a test thing. I can actually go back to bed after my test, I believe. But
Are you going to be even able to get to your test with this winter storm that's coming towards us?
it's all done remotely, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I could lose my power though. I mean, but I always say that, and I never lose power here. I never lose power here. We never lose it. You know what's
Well,
funny?
I mean,
the other
wouldn't they
half.
still- Oh,
the-
sorry.
Well, the other half of my town loses power like every day. It's I don't know what's going on. We never lose it.
I mean, have y'all been upgraded? Because I know over here we're desperate in needing of like upgrading these fucking poles and should have been here for 70 years.
You guys realize Tony is buying Row, right? That's what the big announcement was, that he's under NDA for look up at Twitter.
You guys realize Tony is buying ROH right now? That's what the big announcement was, that he's under NDA. Oh, wow. You think so? Oh, man. Imagine that.
So big. Okay, great. He's goddamn. Could he?
And
he needs to stop
AWA
that
like
shit.
that.
He's gonna ruin a good
And that's
thing
where
here.
that's where Cody's going. They plan this whole thing like for Cody. God damn! Imagine that.
Gotta watch out, dude.
'Cause he can't
thinks
win the
he's a
AEW
fucking Vince
title.
McMahon or something. That guy needs to chill out a little bit.
He can't, correction, he can't win the AEW when he's in the AEW.
Right, he can't.
He could win it now.
These dildos.
This finna be a freeze-off.
This finna be a freeze. It's going to be freezing tomorrow when the snow comes down, courtesy of Bill Nye the
Cody
Science
could
Lad.
help MJF win and beat Punk. You know, like Cody's upset and mad at Punk for taking
Right.
his spotlight or some
Well,
shit. You know?
MJF is a poor Jew who was raped, so I'm sorry for him and, you know, his story the other day about
like a Ric Flair that doesn't have any flair.
ADD
Right.
Jew boy.
Well, listen, we've been on for I've been on for what, 3 hours and something at this point. I got to get out of here. I'm wrapping it up. Furry balls.
Super chat party.
Oh, yeah?
This finna be a freeze ah.
This finna be a breeze. Waiting for Taiwan to take over, then you'll see what the plan is, says Future Endeavor.
It's going to be a cold day in Russia.
It's going to be a cold day in Russia.
Russians, this is a Russian warship. I propose you lay down your arms and surrender. Go fuck yourself. Is that real? Is this real? They're claiming it's real audio. It could be fake though, but they're claiming it's real audio. The Russians are like, "Hey, we're gonna be taking over the ship now," and they said, "Fuck yourself." I don't know if that's real though. But there is audio. I
wouldn't put it past it.
Well, we went really past everything. Cesaro's out of here. I'm out of here. We'll see you tomorrow night for Monetize This. It'll be a big show. I have nothing to do tomorrow or Saturday. I'm off Saturday from what I believe. So, boom, baby. Friday night, we're bringing it. We're beating the clock. We're partying with Tex, the Monetize This champion who's seceding and breaking away from the USA. Texas, baby.
Who's coming with me? Time to go, y'all.
Who's going with the new country, Texas? I can't wait to see how the new country. Oh yeah, baby, I'm ready. Let's
Actually,
go.
we're the Republic of Texas, not
Republic.
country. Just let's get that straight, Joe.
All right, and that's where the Monetize This belt will reside. We'll see you tomorrow night for Monetize This.
Either way, they're gonna be the last frontier. One of them.
Yeah, they're gonna be. They'll be the last to take it in the rear. All right, good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here, man. I had fun. Kisses.
Adios.
I'm out. Gotta get to bed. I really gotta get to bed. I got a big thing. Oh my God, it's tomorrow's the most important day of the last 2 weeks for me. My God. We'll see you Friday night. Monetize This. Thank you so much for being here. Leave a comment down below later. We had a lot of different opinions here, and maybe some of them were stupid. Maybe some of them were good. Some of them were stupid. I don't know. Go back and listen to this whole show, though. We talked a lot about a lot of different topics. Interesting convo tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Crazy.